should in theory, be live on YouTube. That there, it looks good. Let's click over the window, and we're gonna pick up where we left off with crabs. Also, people, I have a bunch of people who've been like following, like who are friended to me and everything on Steam and all that, and have probably noticed me playing Hard Space Shipbreaker. I'm still salty that there's 2 achievements I'm missing that I've already finished, but there weren't achievements when I did them. So I'm like going back, like each night when I'm in Wind Down, I might knock out 1 or 2 ships to get that sorted. You know, with how hard you push for Fight Crab, I'm surprised El Goso hasn't been around for Crab Raiders. You know, I do try to like deliberately not keep track of you know, who's tuning in and tuning out, because I don't want to be a thing like, because it could be a thing that actually gets in your headspace, like this is fine right here, but it is one of those things to be like, oh man, that person, they were here from the very beginning, I haven't seen them in a long time, oh well, that's kind of a bummer, you know, I thought they were going to be around for practically ever. And you know, usually it's their interests change or life situation changes or whatever, or they find content that more aligns with what they want. And just the same thing, you lose track of when people come and go. It's not that you don't care or whatever. I don't remember what we were doing or where we were. Right, we had just beaten the crap out of this town. Right. And we were on our way back to drop off. We got a bunch of, like, supplies. Oh, yeah, you're going to be ridiculous about this. And we're on our way back down. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. We're on our way back down to town because we got a bunch of the stuff we need to set up farms and all that. Oh, you know, you hope he's doing okay? Yeah, no, it's one of those things, like, you never know. What? Who in the what? Alright. Apparently we're immediately attacked by grass pirates. They must have been nearby. That's fine. We're at the point that, you know, sure, some of these guys might go down just because, like, we've got, you know, these 2 are fairly new. But even they're to the point that they could probably handle grass pirates fairly much on their own. But still. But yeah, no, it's usually with stuff like that, it's just, they either have a game or 2 of interest, and you're playing games that don't really interest them, or there's just a creator they found whose content is a bit more in line with what they're looking for. It's like, it's nothing personal. And it's just one of those things. It is, I've mentioned a few times, it's kind of like the whole one immutable fact of content creation is no matter what you do, there's always churn. Like, there's certainly things you could do that instigate more churn or reduce churn. It's just the reality of content creation. That's martial arts stuff. You just kind of have to accept that that's just a thing. But stuff like that, where it's like, it very well could be that, you know, like, their life situations change, and it doesn't even have to be in a bad way. Like, I've known that there's been people in the community who they're like, you know, they disappear for a number of months, and then they're like, oh yeah, you know, I met someone special, and, you know, yada yada yada. Like, you know, spending lots of time together, it's wonderful, and it's like, cool, I am super happy for them. Like, you know, I wouldn't be like, how dare you? How dare you not give up your own happiness to my financial benefit? Disappear for months because of Path of Exile leagues. Oh yeah, no, it's and there's definitely a lot of that kind of stuff where temporarily people get super interested. Like, that's a thing that both I wonder what it's like for someone who very specifically does Path of Exile. Like, that's not someone who does Path of Exile quite a bit, but, you know, does variety, but like someone who just exclusively plays Path of Exile. I do wonder how it's got to feel watching, like, that big spike that happens, like, when the new league happens, and then watch it, like, taper off and then drop, and then you get to late league where half your people aren't really interested in Path of Exile at the moment because they're kind of, you know, the league has waned, so they're, you know, they're trying to check out other games, and having that whole, like, hard spike and drop very regular. Like, all channels ebb and flow, but there's definitely some games that if you main that game, that spike up is hard and that drop is hard. And I think I would stress out so much because you'd be worried that, like, the next league would happen and where you expect that giant spike and it would just not manifest. You'd have, like, the little lukewarm, like, little bump, and you'd be like, oh god. Oh god, it's all over. Or even for that matter, you can just have a league that comes out that just does badly. We've certainly had that before, where you'll have your leagues come out, like this league does really well and everyone's hyped and it has like massively good player retention, so your numbers are just great the whole time because everyone is super hyped for the league. And then you have some leagues that they come out and are pretty badly received and just the numbers are terrible. And so there's something completely outside your control on your channel. You just watch your bump up just be really meh. That's the reasons I don't ever want to be like a one game channel as well, is because you like, you know, you're ride or die on how that game is doing. Like, and how many games out there have we had that, you know, people were super excited, they built communities around it, and then the game would do something that's like, yeah, we're moving all of this to microtransactions, or we're implementing NFT, or whatever. We're gonna include crypto into our game, like whatever the thing is that's like the obvious, oh god, this is a money grab, that just completely pisses off and alienates the audience to that game, and through no fault of your own, suddenly your main revenue source just implodes overnight. Like, there were people who mained Kerbal Space Program, and then Kerbal Space Program 2 came out. That category died. Like, just overnight eviscerated. Or City Skylines versus City Skylines 2. City Skylines had some pretty solid creators hanging out there. There's a few still in City Skylines 1, but by and large, like City Skylines 2 as a category on Twitch has completely died. And so you feel for the creators who were in that category who, you know, this should have been a big win for them. Like, the new games coming out that you bring hype into it, they're all excited, they're looking at it going, oh man, this is going to be a good year for me, and then just absolutely fails and just goes, oh god. What do I do now? Do I need to find like a new entire IP to follow? Like, what's my pivot? Is this just it? I don't get to content create? Like, that happens. That happens a lot, actually. Where you'll have the content creator who's based their channel across an IP or whatever, and for whatever reason, like, it languishes, whether it's, you know, some big company failure or just, you know, it's not getting new stuff, so just kind of loses interest around it, or some new game pops into the category and just does way better. Like, whatever the thing is, and you're just like, okay, it's not really starting over, that's being a little unfair, but do I effectively start over, or do I accept my time in content creation is done? Which is a very personal decision. But I also think that is one of the many things that's led to, you probably noticed like the last 2-3 years, how many content creators have left their respective platforms. Like, it's not only a Twitch thing, it's like Twitch, YouTube. I mean, I guess Facebook gaming isn't a thing anymore. Enoch says, Kerbal Space Program 2 is actually playable now. It's not bad, but you think the initial release killed all hypes and hopes for being popular as the first one? Oh yeah. Well, in so many ways, because like we played it when it came out, in so many ways it felt like a regression in the game. Like, that was kind of my comment about it, is people were like, what, when Kerbal Space Program 1 released, it was just as bad. I'm like, yeah, here's the problem. Kerbal Space Program 1 existed in a world where there wasn't a Kerbal Space, you know, another Kerbal Space Program. But in a world where Kerbal Space Program 1 exists and you're releasing something that has less functionality, now granted it does have things that it does better, you have to compete with the thing. Oh, you're broke. Well, that's not part of my plan. Look, I needed you to actually have some money. Alright. But it's one of those things that I do feel that's a difficult place to be. When it comes to, like, you know, people developing games and all that, when you've had a wildly successful, like, first game or whatever, and now you're popping in later, is you're now competing with yourself. And by all means, you should be able to make that work. But I do feel like people make the mistake when that happens of going, okay, well, they were accepting of this the first time, you know, they'll be accepting of it the second time. And then when, you know, people get really upset about it, they're like, wait, why are they upset? Like this, everyone was cool with this the first time. It's like, right, but you exist in a universe where you have your other game. And that you haven't been able to give me a compelling reason to buy this game over your other game. And, you know, you wait for it and you hype for it. That's actually one of the things that makes me hopeful for Frostpunk 2. Is Frostpunk 2, they look like they're being smart and doing something different enough that there won't be that direct line comparison. It's a different animal entirely. So I think that'll actually work really well in its favor, where it'll prevent the why didn't they have feature X versus feature Y. Well, it's a different game that has a lot of mechanical differences to it. We don't know exactly what's going on with it. But, like, oh yeah, I stole the guy's armor. I actually don't care about this armor, even though it isn't, like, terrible. I just stole it because I got tired of him having really good armor, and I was filling him full of crossbow bolts and doing, like, 2 damage a shot. So I took the armor, and then, you know, then it wasn't as terrible. Okay. Look, sir, I'm going to need you to carry more fish in the future. Don't fail me again in the future, alright, buddy? You'll be forgiven this time. But you need to increase your productivity for the glory of the Crab Raider. That's actually one of the things that makes me really scared for I don't know if they're calling it Prison Architect 2, but the 3D Prison Architect is, I do worry that yes, it is going to have, you know, tiers to it, 3D, which is nice, but at the same time I feel like it's going to lose a lot of that kind of that silly cartoony aesthetic in doing so. And it's going to look like more like just a budget 3D game. But then the question is, okay, well, Prison Architect had a bunch of complicated systems, and admittedly some of those systems I personally think could go away and would make the game better. Just as well as things that had a bunch of systems to begin with, and they kept going yes and, yes and, yes and then some of those like yes and, but maybe not. And I do worry that it's going to come out and it's effectively going to be Prison Architect 1, but 3D. And that would, well, I'm going to say Prison Architect 1, I'm talking about without the DLC. Like, it'd be like they re-released it right from the beginning. And it was just kind of one of those things where I kind of worry that's what's going to happen with it. I'm hoping it's not. I don't have anything I can look at and be like, very clearly they're cutting corners or whatever. But just with the way so many of those games that were like big successes, and then their sequel comes out, and it's just not good. We got beak things over here. 6 of them. There's crab raiders all over that island. That's the last thing that should happen? Yeah. But that's been a real, like, how many games have done, like, we had City Skylines 1, did extremely well on release, you know, is heralded as, like, the new wave of city building games, and while not all the DLC were amazing, very specifically looking at you, the airport DLC, which is, to this day, one of the only DLCs I've regretted buying for a game, because to me it was, like, actively bad. But, generally speaking, I've had nothing but good things to say about City Skylines 1. Then City Skylines 2 came out, and I wouldn't say it's a bad game, but it's definitely been pretty mixed bag. I do hope it'll get to be in a really good place, but it's pretty mixed bag. Like, there's a lot of good stuff to have in it, and there's a lot of things that are like, but why was that an issue? You already solved this problem in your previous title. Did you just, like, throw away your learning? I don't understand. And there's that kind of thing. You have Kerbal Space Program, which Kerbal Space Program 1 was, like, lauded and heralded as such a wonderful and amazing game. And then Kerbal Space Program 2 came out, and it was very much, it felt like just a straight-up downgrade outside of graphics. Which, granted, that's unfair. It's not actually that bad. But it is one of those things that, like, very, very much, you know, the sequel hurt in a lot of ways. we've had a whole bunch of like bigger name sequels that like the sequel came out and just kind of really underwhelmed. That in a lot of ways the first one felt like it just did a better job. And to be fair, there's been good ones too. Like I would say State of Decay, you know, while it had a rocky release because of the whole Xbox, you know, multiplayer only thing. Once it kind of got itself established a bit better, it has definitely improved on the formula in my mind. But there's just been so many games that they had that first hit, they try and do like the sequel, which is effectively a remake of the game, like just, you know, modern tech, whatever, and just kind of fall flat. That now I always get hesitant and worry about like when you see that next title popping out. I haven't been paying attention to see if they actually did finish the research bench here. But yeah, for those who didn't see, we've been getting a lot of really rough raids to our place. When we defeated the Reavers, we started getting the Wrath of the Reaver raid shows up. Oh, okay, that's fine. The Wrath of the Reavers show up, which is a really, really big, very aggressive raid. It's not as bad as the Holy Nation one, but they do show up with like 40, 50 people. And they're not the hardest guys, but they're not slouches. So it is end up being a pretty rough fight. We fought it the first time, and it took us 3 attempts to actually successfully navigate it. But we have started to properly go, okay, we need to build our defenses. I have been shirking this, and it is actually becoming a major problem. Alright, so let's run in here. Okay. This is where things are going to get complicated. Because to research a bunch of these crops and all that, you have to actually put them in here. And I really have not left myself room to do that. So show research. So we've maxed out the research level. We can research hydroponics, so we have corn stick farming. The hydroponics is an AI core. I shouldn't need that here, so I'm hesitant to do that. Alright, so with that, that tells me I don't need to have more of these in there. So that is agave. It's gonna take me a minute to get all this stuff sorted out. Oh, agave. Oh, man. Okay, it looks like the hydroponics is like a major wall for a lot of these. I understand. So hydroponics needs to happen. Then we can do the rice straw and the agave. And the corn sticks. And the hydroponic vegetables. Okay. Interestingly enough, it didn't actually consume the agave, which normally that's one of the things is you have to like put the crop in you want to research. We have the cactus here. Show research on that. So that means I need millet straw, we would need tobacco. Cotton farming requires 2 cotton. What about cactus farming? Why can't I do that? I need wheat straw farming first. Interesting. I don't remember that being that way. That's just, I'm dealing with, like, mod stuff here where it's changed, like, the research order. Let's go ahead and drop all that out of here real fast, and let's just be a bit smarter about how I'm dealing with this. Okay. So we need the wheat straw, so we'll grab the wheat straw. We'll get that going. So wheat straw should be here. Cool. And that would take care of that. Cool. So now I can go there, grab that back out. And then we should have cactus available after that. Alright, and then we'd have cotton next. We just need some cotton. We'll still have to drop all this stuff off for them to farm it and whatever. But we'll get there. So there's the cotton. Cool. So cotton's knocked out. So we need millet straw if we see it. I don't know if we've had... There's so many more crops with the mods that I don't have a clue what's going on. So millet straw. Rye straw. Do we have millet straw here? And barley's probably on that list as well, so we can chuck the barley in there. Okay, so we've got tobacco on the list. I'm probably not going to actually grow all these things, by the way. But I'm at that point of going, okay, well, we probably should just get them sorted. So we'll go ahead and get those, because I saw those are things we haven't gotten sorted yet. They've got you sorted there. We can put a couple potatoes there to see if that'll kick that over. Do I have more rice floating around? We're pretty okay with all this stuff at the moment. They don't have more hemp from the looks of it, which is kind of a bummer. Yeah, so we're not seeing more hemp nor rice weed, which I guess is not super surprising. We're not in an area that, well, where we got this from, I don't think you could even grow rice weed, so it's not surprising they wouldn't have any. So let's see what we got with that. Yeah, because there's poppies, there's brown veggies, which apparently just needs ancient books. We could check for hops, and the dust berries, and the oat straw. So there's the oat straw. There's a second oat straw. We've already got the rye. There's the dust berries. I'm assuming that these ones just needed more. Alright. You should put the evil company bug in quotation marks. You have a feeling that Paradox caught the evil company bug? They started buying companies and releasing unfinished stuff? Yeah, we'll see. Like I said, in the past I've been pretty happy with Paradox stuff. But I also know they get a really bad reputation as well, so... I don't know one way or another on that one. So we'll see about the hops. We need ancient books. We're out of ancient books. We don't have enough rice weed. I don't think we even have carrots or cocoa. Yeah, so I think we're set up with what I can farm there. Okay. I don't remember putting that in my inventory, but it's there now, so let's deal with that. So inventory, put you back here, put you here, switch that, switch that. We can go to you. Drop all these back in here. And make sure we're not missing anything else. Because I was hoping to have 2 hemp, and it looked like we only had the 1. So I've got the 1 here. Yeah. So I think we're basically set up with everything we can grow there. Okay, so with that though, we've got a bunch of this going on. Let's go to our research and see what we're adding in for the rest of the research. So we can do Smith. We want to go ahead and get to armor. We did unlock the crab armor, which I believe we're going to need the plate armor crafting to actually facilitate. We can make crossbow bolts. And we'll need to have crossbow manufacturing. We can get some advanced foods. Trying to see what else we can get that we'll need here. Because they've changed some of the stuff that we have for this. We'll definitely need the better well. Surprised it's under industry and not farming, but that's okay. I'm not gonna worry about the lights. Defenses. We will increase our defensive wall and add mounted crossbows and make them better crossbows. Guards? I don't know what that does. Agave-based fabrics? Okay. Shelves, beds, first aid kits, medicine, hemp-based fabric. We will add all those as well. Because some of these don't have requirements for books and all that, so I'm just choosing the ones that have that. So that requires books. I'll grab imprisonment. I don't know if we'll end up using that, but that's fine. Utility weapons. Sure. Because I also don't know what's going to be a requirement for whatever. Tobacco production. This can be potentially dangerous, but the most productive. I guess narco is just drugs in general. Alright, it looks like... I just blew through, like, all of those research supplies as best we could. And that's what we've got left, is we rocked all of that. But once we go, we'll be able to make our crossbow bolts and all that. Okay, so everyone else here, get out of the way. No Man's Sky is actually making a second game that is also going to have a ridiculously high scale, and they do have the same rep, because it's the person who runs the company. You know, they're not going to fire themselves. Is going to be promoting it. Hopefully, they learned from last time to, you know, not oversell their game. Hopefully. With how it turned out well, though, I don't know if that will or won't be the case. Because, like, it was really badly received when it first came out, and then it kind of did redeem itself in a lot of ways. There's your backpack, so we'll give that to Ionek, so Ionek isn't running around without a backpack. Alright, here, we'll do this the other way. There you go. Now, the thing I gotta figure out is, I don't think we have enough storage around here to, drop all the stuff in there. I don't necessarily agree with that, Strider, that they go bankrupt. They have absolutely made a killing over the years. So actually, I honestly think Hello Games could absolutely release an absolutely flub of a game and survive. Do I think it'd be good for them to do that? No. No, definitely not. But, I think they could economically survive it. So I'm a little torn of what to have our characters do right now, because they're lugging all of this stuff for making farms, and we don't have the room for any of it. One thing I can do in the meantime is farming. Food, where is the wells? So well, we'll go ahead and put a well over here. go to storage. I think it's under raw was water. Yeah. And I'll put the water storage right here as well. Yeah, which is small or tiny. Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to try and have them start to get these farm stuff so I could just drop off all of that. All of the crop so they can go ahead and get that planted. It's going to take us a minute. We're going to be burning through fish in the meantime. But this is one of the main points of this location, is to just become a thing. What game is this? This is Kenshi. It is an open world RPG. It's not the kind of game that has like a set, you know, you kill the big bad guy and you win the game. It's kind of like, this is this crappy world that does crappy things and you just gotta live with that. Maybe or maybe not it works out well for you, so like, you know, make choices. Alright, so let's go ahead and... There's an agave farm.
What's the worst that could happen?
And I'll get that hydrated in a moment. Got the corn farm. We already have fishing net. Love the rye farm. We'll have the vegetable farm. Okay, where's the box? Okay. Alright, so it's looking like they're getting smart enough, so... The agave we want spots for. There's the corn sticks. I'm just trying to grab the handful of plants we already have stuff for. So I get those planted. Alright, more corn sticks. Alright, so still got 2 more of those. Oh, you not take it out of there? That's fine. Alright, just having to grab all of this as best we can. So you start making those fields as best you can. Okay, we're gonna make storage for all of this. That'll be a thing we need to do. Okay, so the upgrade for that is 10 more. And that's for agave. Yes, Enoch doesn't have what we need for that. That's the corn stick farming, and upgrade is 15. And how many do you have on your person? You have enough, so go ahead and tell them to upgrade that right now. You have 1 builder? Yeah, and that's the whole thing, is I have my away team, and then I have my home base team. My home base team has been lacking. I just haven't been giving them enough people. But that's actively what we're working on right now. Alright, like, the big issue I have right now is we haven't been getting food production up, and I need to get that resolved. So, we still have... more stuff here. We're just trying to make sure we get all the crops they can use. In the box there. Okay, so we had agave, we had corn, we had rye, and we had vegetables. I don't actually think we have any, like, the regular vegetables. Do we have anyone with rye? Got a little rye straw there. Drop more rye straw here. And we can make Eunuch work on that real fast. We'll need to make like dedicated storage of each type. And that'll help with all this. All right. Yeah, so you have the agave, you have the rye, you have the corn. We don't have what we need for the vegetables wherever that farm went. That's there. We just unlocked, is it hydroponics we just unlocked? No, it's hydroponic agave. Alright, so we're going to need to make some dedicated storage here to make this not a pain. So storage. Love agave. Corn. Green fruit. Rye. That'll work for now. The Neonek is working really hard on the materials. But yeah, so I actually have 2 people working this area, but right now, for the most part, one of them's not getting a whole lot done. And in the meantime, we have you prioritize the farming right after engineering. Start getting that working. Which should be good because it does rain here quite a bit, so I shouldn't have to worry about too much. But that's okay, because you can see where the water is filling up even though I don't have anyone working it. Alright. If I could please have you research a bit faster. What's our order operations on the research? Wheat straw over the hydroponics, cat sticks over the hydroponics, cotton over the hydroponics, mill straw over the hydroponics, barley over the hydroponics, tobacco over the hydroponics. Yup. Uh-huh. Okay. So basically, get all the other stuff going first. Then we can go from there. We're going to end up needing to have, like, a dedicated kitchen that can, you know, just have a bunch of ovens. Because I found if you try and order them, it doesn't do a good job. Alright, so that means we need farming. Cool. And then we'll need storage raw for the wheat straw. There's wheat straw handled. Meanwhile, we can just go over here to the boxes again. And get that dropped off. There's some wheat straw. There's some more. Yep. That's fine. We'll have Ian grab that real quick. Have you carry that too. Just that way you put it away when you're done. Meanwhile, we'll have Rual pop in the box again. Rearrange that. There's wheat straw. And more wheat straw. And more wheat straw. Okay. All right. And I missed what we just unlocked. Oh, it was cactus. All right, so farming, cactus. Boom, and storage raw, cactus. All right, so wheat straw's built. We can go to our storage now. Oh, let's go ahead and just queue up that as well. Because now I have farming cotton. Cool. Do we actually queue that up, or did I cancel that out? Okay, we did. And I also need storage, cotton. So we're basically queuing up a massive base process. Yes, Enix pretty close to done with the iron stuff, I think. Why do you switch to that? I must have reordered stuff in a way I didn't expect. That's fine. We'll have to go here and... Okay, so we had... I keep not paying attention to what's getting done here. Mill straw farming. Okay. Realistically, we're not doing all this, by the way. But I figure we build it all and just see what happens. I still think it'll be interesting when we get to the point of having, like, just like the biggest building with stove after stove after stove, and having one person just run around, grab whatever material we have, and just start cooking with it. Another thing that's going to need to happen is we're going to need more power. I don't remember where they put that. Was it industry? Because that's not getting particularly good power. Okay, and that's barley straw, which I think is the last one we had. I need that to be the smaller one, please. And we can go down here to storage. Are there any upcoming games you're looking forward to? Oh yeah, no, I just mentioned, like, Frostpunk 2 is in July, so I'm looking forward to that in a big way. I've been really looking forward to like Build 42 coming out for Project Zomboid. Those are kind of the big ones. A lot of the times I've gotten to the point where I don't really keep a close eye on what's upcoming, that kind of thing. Just because the number of times, you know, stuff gets delayed or whatever, and ends up not working out quite the way you hope it will, that kind of thing. So I'm trying to not get like too caught up into like what is the big thing coming out until it's on its way type deal. Alright. So you've already got the wheat straw, you already got this here, so grab those out. I need to grab 5 of the plates out. Alright. Tobacco farming. Oh, I missed some. Okay. So we have the tobacco farms. There you go. Storage. Raw. The you know, you mentioned Pacific Drive earlier. You definitely recommend it. It's not too horror. Understand? Oh yeah, no, that's the way I've been kind of phrasing it is it's like thematically horror. Well, not horror. Kind of like Project Zomboid. I wouldn't call a horror game. Like it's not, you know, it's not jump scares and like watching people be like eviscerated and all that kind of like stuff you see in horror games. It's very, oh, there's zombies, which is a horror theme, but like generally, it's not that bad. But it's like, I've seen a lot of it, and it looks really good. Okay, so we got brown veggies. Okay. Because then just gonna have to start passing stuff to Enoch and just letting them build. And going from there. We got Dustberry Farms. Man, they added so many different crops here. Oh, I forgot your storage. Storage raw dust berries. You can drag the wheat farm up here. We have the oat straw. Is that the last one, please? Please? And storage, raw, oat straw. That's how many different crops they have going on. This whole row here. Okay. Is that all of them? Okay, start passing this stuff over. Okay, I'm not seeing more types of farming so far as like straight up farming. The rest is hydroponics, which I've already queued up, so I'm just gonna go with it. So what we're gonna do... I don't know the best way of going about this. So the issue is there's just so much in the way of crops that getting all of them to people in a way that isn't a colossal pain is hard. until we get the storage built. Once we get the storage built, I can just chuck it into the storage areas and it'll work fine. Man, I don't know how to deal with this. Let's see. We know what happened when Bentley shows up? Something goes wrong and suddenly he's past hope for our team? What? What? Alright, so we've got water storage built now. Let's see if I can't... If I trade you... Can we have the crab start passing you just whatever crops we've got? I'm just going to hand you whatever crops we have and just see how well this works out. Because I, for the life of me, do not really have place for all that. Engineering on the top here. Okay. And let Sad and Neil just work on dropping all the materials they can in all the different places they can. And see how they go. I'm finding amusing that Sad Neil's not even building, they're just dropping off all of the bits and pieces to the farms. To just see where it goes. There's like no order of operations, like he'll put a little bit into the cotton one, a little bit into the next one, and a little bit into the other one, and just run back and forth between. Okay, so you've filled up your inventory for now. Cool, cool. How would you like more? So let's pause that. Have a bunch more of this nonsense. And avoiding all like the hay grass kind of stuff first, because it's huge. Let's move this over here. All right. Because I'm trying to let Eunuch actually work on building the various things. And hopefully we can make more stuff happen there. Okay. I missed stuff. So they don't seem... I don't even know if I have a rye... We do have a rye farm. Okay. Good to know. So in that case, let's grab you, Sad Neil, and have you go over to this box here. Drop off the rye in there. There's no room. There's no room for anything until I get the storage built more. Can I just toss it in here for right now? So get all of these in here for right... They don't stack. I hate it. We're building the storage, we just don't have it yet, and it's becoming a real big pain point. So you've got the rye there. Go take the barley and do that. In a lot of Universe Sim run, Dar's colonists left our colony and started their own cult. It's perfect. Checks out. Okay, we'll grab you again. Let's have Sadnil just keep working on this. We're working on it, little by little. Yeah, you yeeted into space. Sounds like an excellent game to me. What more can you want from a game other than being yeeted into space? Alright, I think I'm actually having them shift around way too much. Okay. So one of them's definitely gonna have to become like a dedicated person just for the farm. We'll worry about that when we get there, but it's definitely looking that way. That takes care of the last of the barley straw for right now. Cool. So you still got the barley straw there. Yeah, so I've got 5 units of barley straw. Because if some of them we have enough extras, we just upgrade the field and that'll absorb the extras, but... we're just trying to get all of our inventory. There's oat straw. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright. We might not have enough of those to keep stuff going there. We've got the barley straw. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rye straw there. And that's it. So the barley straw and the rye straw, I got a little bit left over, but nowhere to put it there. Let's grab everyone over here. Can I make it work here? No, because I've got wheat straw here. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wheat straw. Not enough for the next upgrade. I don't really have room for anything else. Okay, look. 1, 2... I'm just trying to get them to help out here enough to catch this up. So we keep them going on that, they should be able to make this happen. Alright. So, stone mine to the bottom. Iron resource below that. Manual stone mine down there. Manual iron mine down there. Okay, so now you prioritize building and then farming. Which isn't the best, but we'll get there. What should happen is as we look at these, they'll gradually fill up on what's going on there. We'll get progress from there. Alright. So Ionek is, whether they want it or not, becoming a farmer. Finally making the storage containers here. Where are you going now? Operating machine. I'm so confused. Alright. Make sure we don't have something weird in the priority list. Higher crops growing in the putrid land. Hey, just so you know, John. That's, it's kind of an offensive term, buddy. Alright. I'm curious why you keep ending up there, because the stone mine is... Or, sorry, the iron resource is down here. Yeah, no, we're getting this started. That's the only reason I haven't had my people running off to the next location. Oh, so your output's full. I am push upgrade right now, and they should just upgrade this in place to get the larger farm. But the big problem is we don't have the storage yet. I do have storage for cotton. I'm gonna go ahead and drop that off. Was that on TikTok? Nah, it's YouTube. We have cactus. Is anyone holding cactus on them? Yep, Sad Neil is. And Ionek's fine. The big thing is, like, all the straw stuff is just huge inventory-wise, so it ends up being a big hassle to store. Alright, pass it all over to Rhetorical if possible. That way one of the crabs has it all. So I could deal with it that way. Cool. So Rhetorical has all of that stuff. For whenever they actually finish the storage of these buildings. We are fast running out of food because the crabs eat everything. Yeah, no, it's... I'm not going to repeat what they said. They used a slur. Alright. So I know we're, like, a lot of our people are just standing around now, and I'm just having them, like, quickly run back and forth to try and build stuff. And for the record, I said it was a slur. It wasn't, like, a kind of slur, it was just straight up a slur. So that was the reason. It's like, yeah, that's just offensive. It didn't dance around the issue, as well as things that when someone says, you're like, oh, yeah, that was not an accident. Alright, almost there. Only 2 more boxes, and that should be all our veggies unloaded. Well, that's it'll be all the veggies unloaded from the away team. Can I get these into your inventory? Is that going to work for us? So pin your inventory, grab rhetorical. Alright, that'll work for now. And then... I think this will work. Cool. Alright, so we can get the away team out of here. Thank goodness, finally. So let's take all the operating of the machinery off of our away team. They were just helping out in a pinch because we were struggling to get everything set up. I don't want them to sit here and work on this. That's not their job. They're just helping try to get the base defenses up. So, away team. I need you to away because you are absolutely obliterating the food supply. And that is a problem. I wish there's a bit longer wait to make a YouTube account if banned. I mean that's a difficult thing. I don't disagree. It'd be I wish platforms are a bit more willing to kind of tackle things in a fairly direct manner of just going, okay, you know, this person did whatever they're not supposed to do, and then just like slap them with the immediate ban kind of thing and be like, you're gone. And then when it comes to making a new account, if there is like an IP address that keeps coming up again and again, that they would take the time to be like, all right, well, we're going to, you know, whether it's like MAC address ban or IP ban or whatever, they all have side effects. They all have things that it can be a problem. Like, for example, IP address bans, what it can be realistic, it wasn't really a bad slur. It wasn't the worst. Like, we've certainly had far worse than that. There was a reason I didn't straight up ban the person immediately. And I kind of went with this thing saying, like, hey, you know, that's kind of offensive type thing. Versus, like, there's other slurs that are, like, absolutely not. But I do wish Twitch was more willing to, look into stuff like IP and MAC address bans and all that. I think that maybe people should be restricted from posting messages on live streams and comments video if their account isn't, let's say, like 2 weeks old. Oh yeah, no, that's, like, I don't have that turned on. It's something I've actually debated turning on a couple of times now, is doing the thing that account must be over a certain age. Like, just, you know, you have to have had an account for, like, X number of days or weeks. Because the likelihood of an individual hopping on the platform for the very first time and jumping into your channel and saying something offensive and not being nefarious is pretty close to 0. Like, the odds are very, very high they came in there with malice to begin with. You know, versus, you know, someone who's been around for a while and they've said something, it's like, okay, maybe this is like the one-off. Alright, so that can be upgraded. Wish MAC address ban was used more often. On flat, or what's it? The hardware dependent and hard fake. Yeah, you can still absolutely fake MAC addresses. And then unfortunately there is the unfortunate reality that while MAC addresses should be unique, I have personally seen cases where, you know, someone gets MAC address banned and it's like a totally unrelated account also gets hit with it as well because the vendor messes up. Which usually that's a major mess up because it's kind of like, it's not as serious as like repeating serial numbers, but it's the same kind of thing. It shouldn't happen, but it does actually happen on the rare occasion. That was a huge legal debacle, a company I worked at when I was much younger, like just starting out in IT. I worked at a company that did weapons research and development, and they messed up, and on firearms that were not for civilian sale, we'll leave it at that, there was a mistake that they duplicated serial numbers. That was a real big issue. Where are you compared to the rest? You're way over here. Because, for a whole bunch of reasons, those are never supposed, like, they're supposed to be absolutely unique numbers. You know, and they got it resolved. Like, it was an honest mistake, and they caught it before it actually left the factory, if I remember correctly. But, you know, they were looking at firearms that, you know, had duplicate serial numbers and all that sort of stuff, and they managed to recover them and get it sorted out. But there was a little while there was like, oh, this is a real big problem. Anyone in super big danger? Yes. Yep. It's a good thing that we retreated you. Oh yeah, no, that's people could potentially go to jail kind of problem. Like that, it ends up being criminal negligence. And if you don't know why, if you have people doing nefarious things with stuff, and you have the things that are supposed to make it so you can, you know, identify one weapon from the other, and they have been falsified, if you will, that means even if you have the information, you can't deal with it correctly. Okay. It's kind of like going onto a firearm and like filing off the serial number. Most places will fine you for that too if they catch you. Now the odds they catch you is pretty low, but you get the idea. You don't typically do that if you have, you know, legitimate reasons. Yep, you're still alive and pinching. We haven't lost anyone. Kenshi is a game that you generally... Why are you not medicaling? Is everyone already medicaled? What? Oh, you've got hold turned on. Do we have any... Did I miss anyone else? Does anyone else still have hold turned on? Yeah, so those all got turned back on. Alright, so I had one or two that had hold still turned on, so they weren't helping out like they needed to be. Alright. Did they find out the person, did someone mount up? No, it was, like I said, it was an honest mistake. And they caught most of it before it even left the building. But it was like, all hands on deck, like, we need to figure out what's happened, because, you know, that, like, very well, it could have been a nefarious thing. But, it didn't end up being a nefarious thing, it was just the way they were using their systems, just data entry got done not correctly and something slipped through. Yeah, 'cause especially since we were dealing with military contracts and all that, That's the kind of thing that would make sure you'd never see another contract ever again. It's just too big of an issue. How goes the run? It's going pretty good. We just found one of the Iron Spiders who absolutely kicked the crap out of the couple of people who got caught by themselves. They're alive, but we got 3 people who are going to be in recovery coma for a little while. Yeah, so you should stay down now. We beat you up enough. There was another one of those iron spiders in the water over here somewhere. Because that's we cleared this place out forever ago, and the iron spiders that were in there just kind of scattered. And I never did find them all, so we just happened to walk into one of them a moment ago that, you know, beat the crap out of one of our people. Well, 3 of our people. Yeah, it says you're rebooting, but you're not supposed to get back up if you're at negative 58 or lower and you're at negative 65. So downside is I got 3 recovery comas here. So we're gonna be hanging out for a minute while they recover, because they got beaten the crap out of, mostly because they just kept running while getting hit. Oh, they actually don't care who wins that fight. Does you transfer a bag of chips to a gallon freezer bag so you can eat them over time instead of having to eat them all at once? I mean, yeah. Any way you can kind of reseal the bag will work. Alright, how are we doing on the food on the crabs? Oh, not great. I forgot I grabbed that. We'll sell the fish nets, because I'm not getting the stuff to put that to use at any reasonable speed. Man, we are just being eaten out of house and home so fast. Does your mom used to do that? Yeah. Well, I mean, that's not an uncommon thing for people to, like, open a bag and that's just... They don't stop till it's done. Okay, those two will need to be carried. They're gonna be down a bit longer. Delithia is gonna be we'll have to just wait for Delithia to get back up. It's just the downside is the big hourglass that is, you know, them just eating everything. Okay, so this upgrades for 20, so don't do that one yet. You upgrade with 15, so don't worry about that one yet. Oh, it's still being built. I was like, why is that not updating? You upgrade at 10, that's fine. Alright. Look, I need you to get up so I can get moving. I appreciate that all the fishmen are running past me right now and not actually attacking me. We could probably handle it with all the crabs, but it's inconvenient that I have so many of my humanoid people down. There you go. Pass over some of the fish. Basically, as fast as passing it over, they're just eating them. Alright, you're supposed to go to you. Alright. Good luck with your mod management. Yes, I mean, Sadnail's gonna primarily take over the building side of things, and Eonek's gonna be pretty much stuck farming for a little while. I do intend on putting, like, a large building back here, I think. That large building will just be nothing but ovens and all that, just so they can cook all the various crops they've got going on. Please get up. Do you really want to do this? Apparently the answer is yes. I mean, the fishermen stand no chance of fighting back anymore. Alright. I have a feeling when it comes to, like, the long campaign kind of stuff, because of the lack of mobility the crabs have, the crabs might end up becoming just our base defense, like our primary defense at the base, just because of how hard they are to manage over time, because of the whole, they can't fit through most doors, they eat so much. That might end up being a thing that we have to pivot to in the long run. Alright, so you should get up any second now. You'll get up any second now. Rual's still down for a little bit here. Alright, so everyone's back up. Because they keep trying to go to the throne of crab. And they keep learning the hard way that the crabs don't actually fit through the door, to the point I kind of don't even really come out that far ahead getting the food there. Because I have to, like, micromanage so much just to get in to get the food, and then back out. So we're gonna run to this one over here, we're gonna buy all their food up. They'll run to the one up north. They can run there, we can go to Pincher. And then the plan is to start pushing towards more United Cities territory. Now, we did hit the little civilization, like the little town in the south, which is where we got all the farming stuff. And other than just murdering Empire peasants, which don't really have anything, like, against us fighting-wise or whatever, it didn't seem to want to flip. And I'm not looking to just wipe out civilians that aren't even hostile to us right now, so what we're going to go and target more is, like, leadership of United Cities. I would love to just go right in and take Tengu right now. I don't think we win that fight. Very genuinely, I feel like Tengu 100% rocks our world. He's one of the stronger like regular enemies without getting involved, like, you know, Bugmaster or Catan or anything like that. All right. Who has Rual on their shoulder? You do. Okay. Oh yeah, I keep forgetting that because we're allies. Hey, how's it going, Kildrix? They were popping in. For those who don't know, Kildrix, absolutely fantastic content creator on the platform. Been playing some Valheim and Nightingale lately. Definitely someone I recommend. Also plays RimWorld among other games, so definitely someone worth checking out. Yeah, I keep forgetting that because we're allied, anytime one of our people like goes down nearby the Crab Raider town, they'll grab him and run him home to like patch him up. But yeah, so we just need to get like all the food happening ever. I don't care about any of that. I just need food. Give me all the fish. All of your fish. I need it all. Okay, where's your next store? Your next door is over here. Same deal. Give me all your fish. We need all the fish. Crabs are hungry. Okay, I was about to say, it's like, please have fish. You can have these. I'm actually not gonna worry about keeping that. You got a little fish in here? Yes, you do. A couple. Alright, so we got a little bit of fish out of that one. And like I said, we're gonna run right up to the next town and get all their food. And start eating. Oh, Rual should be... Hey, buddy. No more sleep. It's time to go. Alright, so they're on their way up. Meanwhile... we've got the home team just working on home team things. I keep forgetting with all the wars that we've had here, occasionally we just have like random limbs and other stuff just laying around in the ground. You know, just as you do. Oh, you can upgrade that field again. Cool. Alright. That means we got our maxed out agave farm. That's fine. Alright. And how are we doing for our next attack? So we got 4 days until the next major Reaver attack. I don't think we'll have our defenses up in that time, but we should be able to be near enough to the area that when the next attack shows, our main fighting force can return back, use it for training and all that. I definitely feel like we're not getting any more crabs. Because we're now reaching the point that the crabs keeping them fed is becoming the hassle. So I'm trying to figure out logistically how I want to approach that. I do like the idea of getting more crab raider troops, as it were. And I do like the idea of equipping them as crab raiders. You know, plus a couple with ranged weapons just for logistics reasons. But like actually make the crab raider weapons at like the highest quality we can manage and just go with it, knowing it is very, very not meta. Okay, so with that we can upgrade the well. But I do like the idea of making just a crab raider force and assaulting the world. It could even be that we keep the crab raiders, the crabs, back at base to do defense, and then when we go to like take out a town, kind of a type attack, like the major siege, we roll out the crab army. You're gonna be closed up, aren't you? It means I have to wait till morning to buy the fish. I don't want to wait morning to buy the fish. You can't do this to me. Alright, chat. I need to use the restroom real fast. I know it's pretty early in stream, but, actually, it's not that early in stream. But I need to use the restroom real quick, so we're gonna leave the game running at just this point. We've got ourselves a quick save. We're gonna use the restroom real fast, and we'll be back in just a minute. So thank you again for tuning in, and I'll be back here in just a moment. Okay, just clarifying, that mole rat came out of the dirt, shot into orbit, and then fell to its death. Could someone clip that? I messed it up. Don't be bitten. No! No! Okay. Alright, sorry about that. So yeah, unfortunately, we need the food before we go on to the next thing. So we're just going to basically sit here for a minute, wait for the places to open up, to then buy the food, which means we're eating our food while we're waiting to get our food. which is hurting a little bit on that regard. It's a bummer they did make the crabs so aggressively hungry. Like, they're strong, but man, just like the logistics of keeping them fed and the inventory management is just a thing. We should also find a plastic surgeon to rename these two, so they actually have names versus they were slaves and we rescued them, which is the reason they have whatever slave. So let's go ahead and move you over. You're short range. But you did a 30 Shek run and it was a nightmare farming enough food. Yeah, so the I can imagine because the Shek eat, what is it, 1.5 times as much? It's either 1.25 or 1.5 times as much as a human. And it was the hivers eat 1/6 as much as a human, and the crabs eat twice as much as a human. And the worst thing is they don't do trade and inventory and all that, which means I have to buy all the stuff, switch to the crab, then hand all the food to the crab. So it is annoying to keep these things fed. Man, I can't remember. It was I can't remember if it was like 1.25, 1.5. I know the Shek eat a lot, because I've had some Shek heavy runs as well. Not quite 30 people. I think it's been like 12 or 14, but yeah. I have been debating having the crabs go on the home team since these raids are getting pretty intense, and then I could have them deal with that, and have like we have our like little crab raider force running around in the plate armor, because we'll also move faster because the crab's top speed limitation is pretty brutal. The crabs are very expensive from a medical standpoint. Because they don't dodge or block. They just go, we hit hard and fast, and we just hit hard and fast. That's our job. We face plant the enemy and see who's standing. No finesse necessary, just slapping. There's a reason why everywhere you run around, you see me running around with, like, literally, like, multiple hundred first aid kits that we've been looting. Oh, I keep forgetting that, you know, I'm just gonna drop those on the ground. Okay. So, get everyone close to the door, because the crabs also don't fit through the doors. For the record, I have to pick them up to carry them inside for fights. Alright, so we're just gonna need to go inventory. Oh, good. You're well stocked. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that you are well stocked on fish. Run over here. And you are not well stocked in fish. I'm gonna need you to step up your fish game in the future. Consider yourself on notice. You have definitely underperformed in your amount of fish you have provided in this day. I thought you were a fan of the crab, but I'm starting to learn here that you only casually crab. You only crab in passing. Alright, so the Reavers are defeated. And we were starting to make our move on the United Cities. We killed most of the main people in Meru already, but it didn't consider it wiped out. I'm trying to remember. I think that's Jack. Alright. And how's home team doing? We need to recruit more people for home team. We've been ignoring the home team setup for a long time, and with the Reaver mass raid that happens every 2 in-game weeks, I have to bring my whole fighting force back, and even then, it's a dicey mess. So we need more people to be covering the home front. Crib. Yep. Much crib. That was, there was someone who had a YouTube video out recently that they were going through, like, they're joking that they're having their story arcs in their run. And they were like, now it's time for the story arc of Crab. And then immediately the crabs were all gone. And they were like, what happened? And he had, like, a little thing at the end. He's like, yeah, if you're wondering whatever happened to the crabs, I just tried to get those stupid thing home, and they, like, I reloaded must have been 20 times and could not keep them fed to keep them home, so eventually they all starved to death. Like, I gave up on them. Crabs are annoying. It's like, I understand. You don't remember who Black Scratch is controlled by. Now, the Southern Hive... We're hostile with the Southern Hive, right? Yes. So I traded one enemy for another. Don't mess with the Southern Hive. The Southern Hive is rough. That was so I've streamed this like three, four times on the channel. And the very first time I streamed it, we didn't get anywhere. Like, I started streaming it, it was very not well received, which that was just, at the time, the channel could be described as RimWorld and Project Zomboid was the channel. Like, that was, like, affiliate push kind of days. And I tried to play it, and early game Kenshi's a little hard to sell people on. You gotta get over that, like, initial, look, man, I can handle a fight at all. And we didn't quite get there. And then, like, the second time we did it, I don't even remember, like, we took out the cannibals. Like, fully wiped them out. And I know we went down to the Southern Hive, and we were working away in there. I don't even remember what happened with that run. Like, it kind of fell off where... I think what ended up happening as well as runs that we were just knocking down, like, people one after the other. And, you know, you hit a point where interest started to, like, kind of wane on the run, so we just, you know, packaged it up and got rid of it. Which happens. I've actually been pretty happy that people have stayed interested in Kenshi as long this time. Alright, so they're getting out of here. So, Venge is still a little ways away. I honestly think we push for Venge to get, was it Agnew? Get Agnew out of the tower there. Because I need more people for the home team. And very genuinely, they do well. I'm gonna go for it. That's all the way over there. Yeah, early game's hard. So I've found a number of ways to make the early game work and not be that bad. But yeah, even then, like, there's so much, even like if you do like trade routes or whatever, there's so much just, what are you doing? Running. Why are you running? Because I have to get to the next place. Oh, and then what are you gonna do? Run back. Or you just do the thing where you steal from everyone and be like, you're cheesing it by just stealing. It's like, listen, this is Kenshi, man. I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. Kenshi's about cheesing. Because the game cheeses you back by being janky as hell sometimes. Why is everyone down all the time? This is how you farm time. It's like, this is how you learn to win fights. By losing them. And repeating. Alright, so let's... Oh, actually, we already know where the old control tower is. Okay. Find fight you can barely win or barely lose, or if you can lose horribly in a non-fatal way. Lots of blunt damage, very little cut damage. Because that was... We did the Crab Raider start, so we were starting with characters with 1-1. And, being put up against the Skeleton Legion, where they're like 70-70 against us, and just be like, please don't bleed out. And we stuck with it. Like, we didn't just run to the other side of the map to get away with it. We actually just were like, you know what, we're just gonna do this till we're tough. And it worked. We spent a lot of time sleeping in our own blood. A lot of time sleeping in our own blood. But it's like you go through a fight and suddenly you're like 12 attack better and 12 defense better because you managed to block twice against an enemy who's so absurdly stronger than you. Much crab. No defense, just lots of numbers. Alright. Give me that, we can feed that to the crabs. And one of these days you won't, you know, consistently friendly fire. For something covered in armor, these crabs have no defense. Oh no, that's like all animals in Kenshi, generally speaking. It is just, what do? I attack. What else do I do? Have lots of life. Is there anything else? No. I run up to things, I attack them, until one of the two of us is dead. There is no finesse, there is no strategy. We just slap. That's actually, I think, one of the most funs I've had for just a run like that was just thematic, was just doing a Hiver run. Because the big negative Hivers is they're way more fragile than the other races. But they also eat way less than the other races. I think it's just barely over half as much as a human. So very genuinely, you run around and you start running out of food, you're like, oh wait, food's a mechanic. It's been a while. Here, let me just stock up real fast. And then you stop thinking about it for a long time again. Alright, group them all back up, get everyone bandaged back up. Okay, and everyone's all patched up. Like I said, we're trying to push to the old control tower. Because there we can find a skeleton named Agnew. People tend to like him. He screams a lot. Don't do this nonsense again. One group, don't go 6 different ways. It'll also be really, really nice to have everyone be humanoid, because then I could just find the person who's the slowest really easily and be like, you're the one in front. Versus the crabs tend to be the ones who are slowest, but which specific crab is the slowest changes so often. I've just had to be like, yeah, just go as a group. Don't escort, don't follow, just go as a group. There's just a little bit more of microing that... not necessarily my favorite. I do wish they have, and I hope there's something that happens in Kenshi too, is like an idea of like a formation move. We're just like, hey, go as a group that you're like have this general positioning from you. It doesn't need to be precise at all. Just, you know, relatively, these ones should be relatively behind those ones, and don't run in 3 different directions, please. Okay, in almost every playthrough, I pretty much almost always go here, because Agnew is, for a character like right out of the box, Agnew's got the highest strength rating. They're a skeleton, and those are relatively uncommon units to get. This is actually a pretty nice place to train. Yeah, Kenshi 2, it's been being worked on forever. But the big thing is they're no longer using the Ogre engine. I believe they switched to, I think it was the Unreal engine. But they, like... every once in a while, they'll put like a little teaser image or 2 out, but you really don't hear much in any real frequency. Are they making it? Yep. It's been under work for a while. No idea the ETA of it actually coming out, but it's been something on the radar for a long time. Yeah, so you're just base building. How much longer before that attack shows up? Alright, so there's a good chance of this Reaver raid that we're probably just going to let them attack and just walk away. We're kind of in that situation where for my away team to go all the way out here and do this fight, by the time we're done with it and get back, the Reaver raid will probably already have, you know, issued that it's on its way and arrived. And Sad Neil and them cannot handle it. It's like 50 plus actually tough enemies with the Reavers. And you got ruins right here. The only really nice thing about the crabs is that carry space they have is nice. Alright, are you going to actually attack me or just going to run by? Okay, it seems like they didn't aggro. They don't have a particularly large aggro range, so... They can be dangerous, and just numbers are not particularly strong. But if you get, like, caught at the wrong spot, you can, like, fight one group, and then get the next group, and then get the next group, and then have sky lasering as you cross. Well, the crabs seem to eat a lot of things. It's just fish is the thing that I could just go to the shop and buy in large volumes. But they eat, like, the yellow meat, they eat the, like, the regular meat, that kind of stuff. They do eat a range of things, but, fish is just easy. So, like, at the moment, the farm, I just have everything growing because we have the Universal Wastelands mod. In hindsight, I kind of wish I didn't grab that, but it's not been too bad. I would have rather had just reactive worlds, I think. It's not a bad one. It's just one of those ones that it's like, you get to farm, you go, there's like 32 crops, and you're like, but why? Why are there so many crops? Please. Alright, so we got one that's actually going to fight me. And all my people scream as they get lasered really hard. Now I gotta bandage them all up real fast. Fun fact, sometimes the thralls can actually have robotic limbs you can take. They'll actually be under the limbs section of their inventory. Okay. Please stop lasering me. For the record, if you do a run that's skeletons, this is one of the fun tiles to go to. Because, you know, whether they're enemies or trade caravans, you know, anyone who shows up at your base, might get lasered a whole lot. I can't tell you the number of times I've just sat there and just been like, oh, I got all of this loot. Don't worry. Sold it all to the trade caravan who rolled through. Oh, look, the trade caravan all went down to lasers. All right, well, I'll just pick those weapons back up and I'll put them back up for sale again. Did you get actually caught by that? No, you didn't. Sure, I'm willing to, you know, sell the same equipment to the same people twice. That's fine. Please tell me the crabs can actually get into this place. Because I know with the crabs we can handle this. I feel very confident in that. Like, maybe I don't want to grab the whole thing at once, but if the crabs can't get in the building at all, which I'm starting to get kind of worried is the case, then that'll actually be pretty rough. Microwaved crab. So, animals are actually immune to the sky lasers. Just like skeletons are. I think hivers are not. I can't remember. The hivers, I'm not sure one way or the other. Okay, chase us out here. Well, it's actually a lot in here. Why are you... Did you just launch across the thing? There's a lot of numbers building up in a lot of things. Okay, well there's one of their leaders there. And unfortunately that's the leader with the polearm, which is actually dangerous to us because that polearm does extra damage to our crabs. On the other hand, we obliterated them. Okay, so for right now, take your repair kit. Yeah, we don't have anyone doing the polearms. You got hackers, you were doing sabers, you got 2 for ranged. And I'm gonna probably have Agnew take over polearms. So for the moment, let's go ahead and have Illicit and Z run over here. Just gonna loot that. It's a faction uniform. Boo. I'm actually kind of annoyed that, like, everything is a faction uniform in this one. Alright, well, we grabbed your metal weapon. So let's grab you all together. Start patching everyone up. And I know they have a 20,000 bounty. The problem is the bounty is with the Holy Nation. They hate us. The United Cities. They hate us. The Northern, Southern, and Western nobles, I actually don't really know much about them. So I'm not really worried about the 20,000 one way or the other. That's fine. They just need everyone to get bandaged up real fast. Well, you're gonna die. Please don't run out of the building. If they fell out of the tower because glitchiness, let them be. Okay, and you're the other one. I believe you'll have a Matao Katana? Oh no, it's the Hold Saber. Alright, so go ahead and grab Punk's weapon. So that gives you a Matao Saber. And the repair kit. Alright. Let's get them inside the building so we stop taking those lasers. Delithia should get up on their own. So who are we fighting? The UC? Yeah. Because we did the Crab Raider start, we started out hostile with them. And they've been causing us a lot of grief. Alright. Get them back inside so they're not lasered to death. So I'm pretty sure the weapons they carry is kind of junk. I remember that was like one of the big negatives of the Thrall Masters is that, generally speaking, the 2 Thrall Masters themselves have metal weapons, and that's excellent. But all the other stuff in the area, I remember being relatively crap. Now granted, the moment you involve a mod, who even knows? Yeah, no repair kits. None like that. Wait, what? Was that a specialist grade? I think it just moused over my own equipment. That's fine. Okay, so bring you all inside. We can have you do this, and for right now, we'll have Rual investigate the building. I suspect we won't have many enemies left in the building. It seemed like the entire place just ran down the moment I walked in the building, which I'm actually pretty okay with. Ancient books. Alright, let's check top floor. Let's just grab Agnew now, because then I can use Agnew to mule items. Alright. And just like that, Agnew is with us, so let's go ahead and, if you don't mind, Agnew, I feel really strongly that you should carry all the science stuff and those repair kits. Do you want a crab to fill up down there? Yeah, I'm gonna have to like pick up a crab and do that. I'm probably not gonna worry about it. I'm just gonna grab the stuff that's like particularly useful. Of course, AI core. I forgot those would be here. So not gonna worry about the circuit boards. A specialist mercenary armor. Sure, Agnew can have that. More books. We won't worry about the copper plate right now. Not gonna worry about a master grade samurai helmet. Look, game. I have a theme going on. All right, fine. Okay, new plan. You two run downstairs real fast. So, for those who don't know how I have to deal with the crabs, they don't like to go up these big ramps and all that. It's just not big enough. So, what we're going to do here is actually keep the repair kits. We're going to drop all this stuff on Sentient Cookie. Because Sentient Cookie is going to become a backpack. Then I'll have Rawls here go Sentient Cookie. Coming along with me. Meanwhile, before I forget, medical rescue, range jobs. There we go. We go back up here. Because they can't path through most things. Alright, so we can go here to Sentient Cookie, and we'll take those. And I am just grabbing everything, since now I'm using them as a mule. It's like, okay, but why not? Skeleton eyes are worth money, CPU units are worth money. Not grabbing it all. Because they generally don't worry about money too much in Kenshi. Like, early game money can be a pain point. Or if you're trying to just, like, buy the AI cores kind of thing. But the moment you're able to start, like, taking on locations, money starts to be just a matter of convenience. That if you want money, you just go, okay, let me just go and raid this town and take it for all it's worth. And now I suddenly have several 100,000. Specialist grade. Sure. Those are all electronic boxes. Pick cookie back up. It's like Agnew's the big find in here. But then as you can see, there's a bunch of AI cores and all that. So like loot-wise, it's not bad. But it's not... The location's not amazing loot-wise. It's getting access to that skeleton bed if you're doing a skeleton run. That could be pretty important. Okay, and with that, I'm going to put you down. Grab our troops. And then it's time to go... Actually... So you're dying. Is the other one basically done as well? I've lost track to where the other leader was. Basically, I'm trying to make sure that they'll stay dead. Must have gone up and attacked and got knocked down again. If you ever want a cheesy way to power level your toughness, by the way, when you get a character who can run fast enough, don't even worry about them down here. If you're a skeleton, just jump in the bed. It'll start wailing on you, and you just do that until you can't stand watching toughness go up. Where did the other leader go? I don't really care. It was more just kind of wanting to make sure that they're actually dead and not just going to get back up here in a minute. I mean, pretty much all of them are labeled as dead or dying. I don't see any marked recovery coma at all. Yeah, we'll just assume it all works well. We'll take the TV villain strategy of deal with the person and not verify that it actually works out. Did I actually put you down where you can't get out? I did. Alright. Starting our way back home. How much time do we have until the raid shows up? 2 days, 6 in-game hours. Alright, so let's try and get moving. Up, Agnew, buddy. I'm gonna need you to stay with the team, okay, friend? I know you got places to be and people to see, but those places to be and people to see are gonna involve sticking with the team. Meanwhile, where was... There we go. I wonder how much faster my force would go if we did take the time to like quickly Alright, so we got everyone patched up. If we did take the time to like ditch the crabs for when we're traveling. Because I think the crabs are hard capped. I think it's 13 miles an hour is their top speed. They just can't go fast. It's 13 or like 15 or whatever. Keep with the tour bus? Absolutely. Alright. That said, one downside is if I do start leaving the crabs behind as the defense force, is there will be that downside of the crabs can clear a big group pretty fast. The crabs can absolutely decimate, you know, a large number of soft targets at a completely unreasonable speed. But that's part of why I'm thinking defense forces, because that's where you just end up with like a massive number of enemies. Okay, tech hunters are fine. Alright. Now, the other downside is if we are going to have, like, our dedicated, you know, travel force that's humanoid or whatever, I am going to have to recruit more people for that, which I think is a good thing because that'll give more people options to join the group and whatnot. Versus right now, with how much the crabs are eating, I can't really bring more on. They'll just starve to death. Yep, it's labeled the whole thing as dead. Cool. Alright. So you keep moving there. How are we doing at home front? So you're replacing our iron plates that we were running out of. We're waiting on more building materials. Sad Neil is sad kneeling things. We can now make all the types of crossbow bolts, which is something we're going to have dedicated force dealing with. Hey, Leviathan, how you doing, buddy? Enjoying eating people? Cool, cool. Alright. Oh, I forgot your whole inventory was just full of junk. Because we're still building the storage for that. But yeah, and I think... Stabby stab the Leviathan. Leviathans hit hard. Leviathans hit so hard. And the other thing that's also awful is they have something like 4,000 hit points or some nonsense. So, even if you hit hard, it's one of those things you just have to land so many hits before it even matters. Alright. You gonna chase me? Yep, and you're gonna catch up, so we'll go ahead and take care of you. Alright. So loot that, and then toss the meat to Longclaw. I don't know what this track is, but it's certainly a track. Alright, we can give that to Illicit for food. And we can grab you. Start chucking that to Illicit as well, because that'll be good. Alright. And it'll take us a minute to patch ourselves back up. How long does this track go on for? I think we're skipping this track. Because it's like, what is this? It's like someone's like music box. Oh, and don't mind the corpses that my home team are carrying around. It's no big deal. Wait, where's your corpse, Sad Neil? Sir. Where did you lose your corpse? I'm disappointed. I've been having them lug the corpses around for absolutely ever to, you know, train strength and all that as they run around. Alright, so it looks like everyone's good here. So keep our way onto the coast. Alright. I do wonder with the Universal Wastelanders mod if we just kept going by, like, as we came and left, if we went by the Crab Village and snagged drifters, if we would eventually just be able to build an entire group just from that. I also know it's got the Recruitable Prisoners mod, that technically I can actually capture, like, thralls in that, and you can convert them as well. I don't know if we'll do stuff like that. I mean, maybe. Because then, maybe. Because the idea with that is maybe just as I'm passing through, I might snag a couple of thralls, toss them into cages to let us recruit them onto the home base defense. To, you know, have people, you know, man the weapons or whatever. That was one of the things that was kind of neat, but also kind of overpowered with the Genesis mod that we tried. Was just the fact that you could be like, yo, I want you to send me skeleton recruits. And then just like recruit 4 skeletons. It cost a boatload of money, but money is not really that big an objective or big of a hurdle in Kenshi after the early game. Yeah, so you're still reaching. How is that research going? It should be getting close to done. Yeah, you have heavy foundations, and then we're basically... Oh, large defensive walls? We can go for that. Yeah, we're basically wrapping up what we can do with research. Now, granted, I'm bringing more materials home now. Okay. Home depends what's wrong with running away to the side and waiting them out while watching your base get wrecked. So that part actually isn't bad. One of the things that can actually happen in the game that you don't see super often but is a thing is sometimes they will actually move into your base. Like you'll have a raid show up and it'll be like, this base is ours now. And they just stay there and live there. And it kind of sucks when they do that. Because then you have to like stage an operation to take back your own home. Yeah, so we're fighting Skeleton Legion, I believe. No, these might be Skeleton Bandits. Yeah, Skeleton Bandits, that's not that big a deal. They're on our list of people who need to be dealt with. That said, we do just kind of obliterate them with the Crab Army. I saw a limb go flying. Where did it go? Alright, everyone's all patched up. Okay, that's fine. Alright. Because it'd be good to get Agnew back. We'll have one of them whose entire focus will just be, like, processing materials and all that. We'll have another one whose focus will be on, like, the farming side of things. We'll probably have to have one focused on the cooking side of things. And, like, the research and engineering, we just fill in the gap as needed. And eventually we will need to have crossbow people who can just sit on the turrets and just blast anything that's in the water approaching. That's kind of my hope, is that we'll get enough of those turrets set up so as they swim to our base, we'll just absolutely destroy anything moving in at us. Oh! The Ark got taken over by the Crab Raiders. I'm going to be honest, I was not anticipating that. Alright. It might even be the thing that, like, our next target ends up being the Skeleton Bandits, just to see if we clear out Skeleton Bandit territory, what happens. I do think eventually we need to take down the Southern Tribe. I also want to see, like, how much of, if we wipe out all our opposition in the area, like, how much territory can be taken over by the Crab Raiders. I doubt it's a thing we can, like, total world domination as them, because the world states usually don't go that far. So, like, if we wipe out the Holy Nation, I wouldn't anticipate the Crab Raiders to move in. Usually it's the Fogmen. It's either Fogmen, Czech, or, I think United Cities can? It really, like, it depends, like, who's up and who's not and all that. To me, that was always one of the interesting things about the world, is you do stuff like that, you turn around and just... the nature of the world would change around you based on who did and didn't make it. Alright, we're almost home to drop off all that research stuff, get Agnew back home to take over more base responsibilities. Yeah, so research large defensive walls. Alright, and that's... Fishermen and Skeleton Bandits fighting there, so that'll be no problem. Alright. wait for everyone to get mediced up, and then it's back to getting on the move. Alright, and we're at the home stretch before we swim back to the base, drop off all our new stuff from taking out the Tower of Anguish. And then I do start to think that's the point I'll start making a dedicated, like, exploring group, and then, you know, the crabs will be our cavalry, as it were. So, like, when we're just going around exploring and all that, we'll have our smaller force. And then when it's like, no, it's time to move on to UC Capital, load up the crabs with food, and bring them to field. Otherwise, they can help on the base defense so that we can potentially get our base to where I don't have to constantly back off. We'll just have the crabs, do their thing. And then the skeletons in there will patch them up. Come on. We'll get back to that. It's fine. People don't need to physically exist. I don't judge. Their textures have unloaded, so they're still present, they're still moving and all that, but we can't actually see where they are or what they're doing or whatever. There they go. Usually it fixes itself after a minute. A lot of times if you switch to another part of the map and then back, sometimes it'll fix it, or if you change zone, sometimes it'll like kick it in order. Alright. Supposedly you're all in a fight. Ah. Because apparently you all got left behind, which is part of the reason I want to fix this, is because the pathing, because of how different the characteristics are between the crabs and the others. There's just a lot of the time that they get split up. I'm surprised Rual is with them, though. Usually it's all the humanoids don't follow. Come on, come on. They're a little more. Okay. And that's just a swimming issue, by the way. That because it's so far out, they'll be like, no, I don't wanna. But as your swimming gets higher, it does seem to be more forgiving about it. Come on. Okay, meanwhile, we can start reorganizing our squads. So, Agnew. Welcome to the second squad. And Agnew, your responsibilities around here. We're going to clear up that. So, right now, Sadneil is handling the construction stuff as a primary concern and whatnot. We can go ahead and sit there and say, for Agnew right now, to help out with this as well. To keep that moving for the moment. But what I'll probably do is as we build up more of this, we'll start getting the armor production and all that. Maybe Agnew takes that over. And meanwhile, for the rest of you, run you up against the building. And have Rual quickly go inside here. Drop off all the research stuff we can. That's all the research stuff there. Okay, so Sentient Cookie has all the loot. Give me your maps. You can organize this. Let's drop off a bunch of these, like, smaller med kits for the home team to use. We'll keep the big ones for bringing with us. Now I'm gonna completely deplete our reserves. As I make sure I'm leaving enough med kits. Oh, Rhetorical has a lot of amazing med kits. Okay, that's fine. Bring the weapon with us so we could sell it. Bring... That's fine. That's fine, I'll worry about that later.
We create things as a reflection of this struggle.
So drop our repair kits in there.
Perception of self. That wave isn't necessarily a thing
Okay.
you achieve.
So you all have food, you all have food.
Rather,
The Sentient Cookie needs to come over here. We gotta get the loot off Sentient Cookie. You've got a bunch of food we'll want to bring with us.
understanding that ideas aren't static, fluid, like water.
And honestly, that's fine for the rest of you.
Like
Meanwhile, the rest of you run over here. Okay. We'll grab the normal food off of you. We'll actually leave those behind for bringing with us. We can leave those behind. We'll eventually use that as well. The skeleton eye is no use for any of them. The shoddy leather stuff. We can leave that behind as well. It could be potentially used. That's research. We'll grab that to deal with that. Okay. You can go drop off the research. Basically, I'm trying to split up the stuff so that we can hopefully get stuff going on here. So this is our travel team. Time to mix up our squads. So let's go to our squads and add new team. Raiders. Okay, so we are finally splitting up the squads a little bit. Because the crabs are getting... It's honestly, of all the things that's been the thing, like the food's annoying. The thing that's actually the biggest problem I'm having with them is just the pathing issues the crabs have because they can't fit through anything. So this is the Raider team. Raider team is now rolling. We are going to just have them start targeting places to bring more people in. Where are we going to have them head now? Let's start heading down this way. Actually, let's have them head towards the Throne of Crab. See if we can't recruit anyone else to send either with us or wherever we need them. We grab the crab team. Hey Tessa, how's it going? We can grab the crab team. And crab team can go chill over here. You shouldn't be part of this team. You go down there. And grab the crab team. Crab team will wait over here by the door. So they can get involved if there's an attack. We will want... Well, we should have food storage happening on its own. Yeah, so everyone's trying to build stuff, so that should be good. Okay, so you've got the cotton going. We've got 25 of that laying around. So you need 15. Alright, so it's one upgrade we can do on the cotton. We've got the cactus. The cactus needs 10, so you can upgrade that. We've got the rye straw. There's not much there. Don't you have rye straw on you? No, you have barley straw. You got green fruit, which we don't even have yet. Okay. This is going to be interesting to see how you cope without Crab Army. Yeah, so I'm expecting the bit to be a little bit rougher, because in a lot of ways, while we've been getting good defense from the fighting, if you notice, for example, Delithia here has ridiculous defense, but only okay attack, and Reaver also, really kind of poor attack, really good defense. So, like, a lot of them, their attack damage has been badly stunted because the crabs just get in there and just mash face against it. Whereas, on defense, they're doing relatively okay. Alright, you're gonna go ahead and put down that corpse. We're also not gonna bother having you sneak anymore. Meanwhile, yeah, the barley is still being dealt with. We got wheatgrass, not quite enough to upgrade. Same with the rye straw. They'll get there. Okay, so I want them to keep building. The big downside is they got to get that food production up and running, and soon. Because they are going to be eating directly from their bags until there's nothing left. Oh, in hindsight, I should have taken the backpacks with us. It's fine. Alright. How long till they attack? 12 hours before they go. Okay, yeah, so we're gonna have our raider force. They're gonna go out, check to see if we can't get ourselves another recruit. And whether or not they do, they're going to drop back to be ready to counter the Raider attack, or the Reaver attack. Once the Reaver attack's defeated, then they can go out and properly head back out in the world and do what they got to do. All right. Yeah, so definitely be trying to train up our people. So we're going to deliberately pick fights with stuff that, you know, we were just slaughtering to kind of get a feel for where we're actually at now. That's an interesting path, that's fine. Oh, I didn't even check for more... Okay, let's look at our research. We got 2 AI cores, like a handful of books and all that. Alright, so core, we don't have anything we care about. Crafting... We can make automatic looms and all that. We can make advanced medicine, potentially, which would be nice. For the armor, that's the chain armor. I'm not going to worry about the rest of that right now. We could potentially make a bunch of liquor and all that for selling. Automatic rye grinding, automatic everything grinding, rye ration packs, cook stove technology upgrade. Okay, so that apparently can automate some of the growing of stuff. That's hydroponics. I'm not going to worry about that. I'm not going to worry about the... We'll get the wells 3. Because we're probably going to need it. Prototype, so strong defensive walls. Stronger defensive walls. Prototype harpoons. Harpoons MK2. So we're just upgrading all that. And we'll set up the advanced medicine. We'll set up all that. We're just burning our, like all of our resources now, by the way. They have AI cores I don't appear to be able to use. We get the copper alloys just because we can. Yeah, so I've got some AI cores that I can't really put to use because they have nothing that level. Alright. Okay, so they're on their way there. Home team's doing home team things. Sad Neil. Because of that, when Sad Neil's inventory is full, they'll do a drop-off. I'm hoping they'll get these done real soon, because once they get these done, we can get them back to building the wall. So the wall's definitely not going to be ready for this next fight. Alright. So is there anyone new we can recruit in here real fast? We've got a drifter there. It's just the one. Okay. Hey buddy, I don't know who you are, but you're one of us now. Sure, I'm interested. 3,000 deal. Hey, welcome to being terrible at this. Is your gate modded? Yeah, we're using the Universal Wastelands mod. Oh, that's not at all how I do that. I know my own commands. Don't worry about it. Alright. Draconic. Dork. You're looking for a good spot to grow food? So, there's definitely a lot of good places to grow food in the world. It's just every place in the map, no matter where it is, comes with pros and cons. Just as a heads up. So very genuinely when we're looking at stuff in the world. You can get slaughtered in the Swamps of Ice. Well, one thing to be well aware of in Kenshi is the way the game works is you spend a lot of time getting beaten the crap of and put in the dirt. Again and again until it stops happening. Like, that's just the normal game cycle, is you spend a lot of time unconscious because that's how you get stronger. Alright, so we got a new member for our away team. But, so generally speaking, when it comes to places that you can farm well, the swamp you can farm well, it kind of sucks for the blood spiders and not being able to see well and all that. There is a spot, if you want, that trying to remember exactly where it is. I think it's along. There's a spot along the northern edge here on the swamp that it counts as swamp. It might be this peninsula here that you can grow there. That's not as bad. Is that vein? So this is the swamp. I'm all the way down here in the pits east, and Green Beach. So I'm friends with the what's known as the Crab Raiders, the enemies here. Like they're the raider group here, because that's just the start we did with the mod. This is a very good place to grow things so far as it is very fertile. The downside with this area is normally it is one of the more dangerous relative areas of the map, because like the Ashlands here is kind of like your end game zone. Sonora's Dark is awful. Sniper Valley is awful. Strobe's Garden, the Crags, and this area all have lots of enemies. Normally the Crab Raiders hate you, so this place can be awful. You get the idea. This whole southeast area of the map is usually a pretty terrible place. But all of this area is like really good growing. And it's both arid and green growing, so you can grow pretty much anything in the game here. But, you know, there be nasty things afoot. Welcome back, Tessa. But yeah, so that's there is a certain amount of balance in the game when it comes to you're going to run it like the better an area is for operating, the more danger you can run to. That said, northern coast you can grow certain things pretty well. The hidden forest, there's an area up here that you can make a base that's not too shabby. You'll get attacked by cannibals and Holy Nation after a while up there, but there's really not many places you can farm where someone isn't going to try to murder you. Like that's just Kenshi. That very genuinely Kenshi is a game, like I said, that when you're doing a run, you should just accept you're going to be spending a large portion of the beginning of your run unconscious, face down, in your own blood. That's just Kenshi. Like, very genuinely, that's just Kenshi. But every time you do get knocked down, you get a little bit more toughness, which is a little bit of damage reduction. You get a little bit of defense, which is a little bit more ability to prevent damage entirely. And you get a little bit more attack, which is a little bit more ability to do damage. So it is just one of those things that you fight, you lose, you get slightly better at fighting. You fight, you lose, you get slightly better at fighting. You fight, you lose, you get slightly better at fighting. Repeat. I was gonna say there's no shortcuts, but there absolutely is way. There's absolutely ways to cheese the game. But at least for me personally, and you know, it's totally fine if you disagree, I personally find that figuring out the ways to cheese the game is half of the fun. That once you get to the point where someone just like hands you how to, oh, here's how you power level strength, well, now that's just what you do, and it kind of ruins the variety of the content. Hey, Undead Baron, how's it going? Can we get a shout out for Undead Baron? Another fantastic content creator on the platform. Does a lot of variety content, doing a lot of like Sons of the Forest they've been playing lately. They do a lot of Project Zomboid. Lots and lots and lots of stuff like in the survival genre. A little bit of horror in there as well. But definitely good times over there. That's one of the channels that post-stream that you'll find me hanging out at pretty regularly. But how's it going? We are enjoying some Kenshi and having our little crabby army right here. We've stopped bringing them with us because their pathing is getting really bad because they're getting too big. And they're eating us out of house and home because crab's hungry. We should be getting attacked pretty soon. Expired. What? I mean, we murdered most of them. I was assuming with it having a countdown, it was going to send them, so I was getting all ready for a fight. Okay, I guess we're not fighting them. In the meantime, well, that's gonna be... Here, you can have a fancy helmet that I haven't needed for anything else. Yeah, so, Draconic is running around, just to clarify. They are running around with absolute garbage equipment, except for they got, like, the fanciest helmet. Didn't one of you have a weapon or whatever? Pretty good. Hope you're having a good night. Yeah, just enjoying. It's been actually my birthday today, so I've been doing that whole bit, but that was mostly before stream. So for right now, I can give you that weapon. Oh, you were carrying the weapons, right? I meant to sell these things. That's fine. You know what? I'm gonna keep you with the plank. Honestly, we're gonna have that'll be our heavy weapons person. Check our crab inventory. Is anyone rocking anything? We can hand... Let's just drop this on the ground. We'll have our person pick it up so I don't have to, like, inventory shuffle as much. So Raider team. Pick up what you can. Move crabs. Alright. So for one moment... Do we have anyone here who can fit that in our inventory? Because it looks like it has to be a weapon slot. No, I can't have a crab pick it up either, which is kind of annoying. Okay, so what we're going to do here is I'm going to have you drop your weapon. You're going to pick that up. You're going to trade with that person. You drop that off there. You pick up that plank, and we're good to go. Crab versus the United Cities. It's United Cities. Different group. I was about to make a joke about one wasn't in, down with slavery and all that, but history's rough. History's rough.
Happy birthday, Rual.
Thank you for the birthday wishes. Congratulations on yet another revolution around the local celestial body, Rual. But thank you so much. Thank you for the 1,000 biddies. I really do appreciate that. Okay, so let's have our raider group go to Pincher. I was fully anticipating having a battle. So I'm not sure if that means that the Wrath of the Reavers is over forever, because the Wrath of the Reavers was in response to, as the Crab Raiders, we rolled into Reaver territory, we went up to their leader and said, "You're mine now." And we beat the crap out of him, we threw him in a prison cell, and, we called it square. So there's that. Now, for those who don't know, I do have a thing for every sub and 100 bits. I had a Lego to the kit going on, and since we're about to walk across an ocean and it's going to take us a minute, let's go ahead and get those 10 pieces I owe for that knocked out real fast. We got a brand new kit that we introduced today, because for those who were like following the last kit is over. We did the finished. With all that said, so I've got 10 pieces I owe. And also, did I remember to thank... thank you so much for the Usei bits. Thank you so much, Usei, for those 1,000 biddies. I really do appreciate that. And also, while you're here on Dead Baron, got anything fun or exciting planned for tonight for stream? I know you're talking about getting back into the Project Zomboid server. We actually spun up our Project Zomboid server yesterday. That I'm hopping into like every other day. So that's 2 pieces of the 10 for there. Kind of weird that there's not more to... Oh, I see. We're going to be adding more right now. So, boom, and I need another one of these yellow things here. That's 2. And then... 3 and 4. And I need 2 more of these. And that'll be 5 and 6. And don't worry, you're not missing anything, Kenshi. They're swimming across the ocean. It's just the way it rolls. And this would be 7. I'll catch up with chat in a minute. It is unfortunately, while I'm doing the Legos, I can't see chat. Because I've turned like 90 degrees from there. Alright, so we got one of these. We have whatever the heck that is. Thing. There we go. And what are these? Look at you. 7, that'd be 8. 9. You go over here somehow? Oh, I see. 9. I guess I need 2 of those. So then we go 10. Alright. So that's all caught up on all that. All right. Oh, you missed the last kit. What was it? Mars rover? Yeah, it's a Mars rover. We for those who missed the kit like being finished, you can hop on the Discord. I posted it in the announcements channel when it got done. All right. Are you actually moving or are you pretending to move? You are moving slowly. That's fine. Okay. So up to 20 cotton here. So we can upgrade the cotton farm. We have 7 cactus, that's not enough to do anything with. We've got a ton of wheat straw. Which is here. So let us upgrade that one. We've got 25 rye straw. We got plan to upgrade that one. We don't have green fruit at all. We've got the corn. We can upgrade that one. The agave, I believe, is already fully upgraded. It is. And we don't have the mill straw. Alright, so we got all that stuff going on. Yeah, now good things going on with all that. Yeah, so they're upgrading all this stuff we got going on. Agnew's continuing to produce more building materials because we got to get those last forward containers. So we got to get these walls up. Then I need to upgrade the walls to actually be reasonably defensible. And yada yada yada. Okay. And I'd like to get Draconic into some actual crab armor. I do have intentions of trying to get the, like, literally I want my entire raid team to be thematically crab troops. So we'll sit there and we'll get them, like, we'll get to the point where we'll start blacksmithing like crab armor to try and get, you know, masterwork crab armor. And we'll also go through and, you know, smith weapons to try and get them that. We'll see how far we go with that. That could be very laborious. But my hope is if they're just hanging out here doing that on their own time, we'll eventually get there. So you've got 7 there and you need 10. There should be a bunch of them sitting here. Yeah. So we can upgrade the cactuses. Because right now I'm just trying to scale up all the farms we can. And then once we've scaled up all those farms, then we can start, you know, seeing what else we can make happen with that. So I'm trying to think of where I want to take our troops next. I'm thinking maybe the skeleton bandits. Start working on them. Because I was trying to push towards the United Cities, but with the adjustment of trying to get the crabs out of the way for a little while. I don't know why I ran... Oh, I ran up here to get the armor, but the armor place is going to be closed till the morning. That's fine. So you can hang there for a moment while this group does their thing. So barley straw. And how's your inventory looking? Okay, so we got the barley straw container, so you can drop that off. We have mill straw. We have agave. You've got the corn. Green fruit. Rye. Wheat. Cactus. Cotton. Cool. Alright, so with all that, let's take a moment and see what I can build still. So I need to get illicit goods processor. I see. We have a manual silo. a grain silo, multi-grain oats, millets, barley, and all that. We have cooking stoves. That'll need to happen. Let's just go ahead, because we can make big buildings. Why can't I make a bigger building? Should I not have giant buildings available? Did we not research that? Large building shells, medium building shells, I understand. I did research archives and databases. Research will be faster if you have the proper tools at our disposal. Increase the research speed. I don't care about research speeds that much, honestly. That's fine. So 20 wheat straw, we could probably still upgrade you. Yes, we can. Alright. They're basically just waiting till this place opens, because I'd like to get Draconic in some kind of armor. At the moment, we're wearing a whole bunch of stuff that's like specialist armor and all that we've collected from all over the place. I do want to get them all wearing crab armor in the long run. Oh yeah, we want to sell these extra weapons as well. Now, one of the tricky things is, if I remember correctly, dexterity trains off of the cutting damage of your weapons, like the ratio of cutting versus blunt. So if I do have Draconic Dork go with the heavy weapons, I'll probably want to go out of my way to give them a heavy weapon that does have cutting damage. Which is kind of a bummer that it works that way. But you know, it is what it is. Meanwhile, let's go to our industry. We should be able to make a couple things here. Alright, so we already have the iron refined, so we'll need the steel refinery. So do that. Storage refined. We can go to steel. So crafting. Heavy armor smithy. So I put that down there. We can go with plate beating, because that's also going to be a thing for heavy armor there. We can go to refined. We will need armor plates. Put that there. And we'll do storage, armor storage. You can go ahead and put 2 of those over there, because that's going to be a whole big thing. So let them work on building that. Because that should be everything I need to start making the crab armor. I might also need fabric and or leather, but we'll have to see when we get there. Because I genuinely don't remember. Because then we can try and get one of these ones, probably Agnew, to start making our armor and all that. Okay, you're fully upgraded, you're fully upgraded. You need 10 rye. You've got more than 10 rye, so upgrade that. That requires 30 more rye. You're fully upgraded. You need more dust fruit. All right. Yeah, so Enoch is slowly becoming like a dedicated farmer. We are working on our construction. Sadneel's doing research. That'll all improve over time, especially as they get better laboring skill and all that. Alright, so let's pop in here. And for once, everyone can actually run here, so I don't have to, like, juggle people all over the place. Alright. So I'll have you sell those. Grab this. You're actually going to sell that helmet, which I know is going to upset people. You're going to sell that pants. That's fine, too. So we're going to find the best pants that they've got here. A nice, solid standard class. We have a high-grade helmet. So go and grab that high-grade helmet. You grab these. Normally, you don't want to go straight to plate armor on a new person, because they're going to struggle to move. They're going to do a bad time being able to fight much of anything. It's fine. It'll certainly not be a problem. It certainly will not be awful. Okay. Up, and you got some CPUs to sell. They don't actually sell worth anything here. So I'm very much getting ripped off. I don't feel like carrying them around all over the place. But I know I'm getting ripped off, so that makes it okay. So let's go ahead and take some medicine on you. Because that should help out. Yeah, so they have the heavy weapons maul. I'm going to sell your plank. I'm going to grab that crab maul. So that way we're in character. Let's double check everyone else's armor. So you have the masterwork thing here. Doesn't give us a ton of resistance, but it is masterwork. Like I said, we'll eventually make them all crab armor. But right now, we're doing a hodgepodge. Yeah, so Delithia can use a chess piece. Yeah, so we got at least... Because I think I only took that one because we didn't have at least standard grade before. And what are you wearing? Armor's rags. Yeah, that's for martial arts stuff for the most part. Like, don't get me wrong, the samurai stuff is probably better. But like I said, we're going with the theme. This isn't about meta. This isn't about what, like, logically makes the most sense. So there's standard there. And there should be standard pants. No, that's fine. Whatever. We'll take the shoddy. We got a crab. Who is still not in there? Did we only had one other person who's not in crab armor. That's fine. This is a total waste. We're going with it. Boom, talk, sell. Getting character friend. There's standard quality armor. And shoddy pants. Excellent. Oh, and you need to get rid of your wooden shoes. For some standard quality shoes. Does everyone have the right shoes on? Nope. Okay, everyone is in character. Excellent. You can handle the plate armor. You notice our movement speed slowed down a little bit? We'll get there, don't worry. In the meantime, let's go find some place to fight. Honestly, we could probably head back down there and just pick a fight with whatever we run into. In the meantime, let's check back in on here. You've got all that going on. You're still building all this stuff. You're still building that stuff. How's the crab food supply going? It's burning down pretty fast. Okay, so we're gonna need a building. We're gonna make it our storm building. We're gonna put it over here kind of near the wall. And then the idea is that'll be the kitchen in the long run. Yeah, so you're locked at 4 miles per hour because you are 83% over encumbered, which is almost exclusively your armor. Excellent. And you're at negative 13 in your attack stat. Heck yeah. Yes, let's head down towards the crags. We can start fighting over there. That's where the skeleton bandits will be. And the idea is Rual and the others should be able to mostly carry Draconic. But Draconic is going to need a little bit of help, you know, in the fight. So they're going to get knocked down. They're going to gain a little toughness, and we'll move on with that. Why are you not... You have food. Eat. Oh, I think it has to be in the backpack to trade it between people. That's right. I forgot that was a thing. So slight adjustment to our plans, because we just about obliterated all of our food in a matter of seconds because I didn't realize we weren't eating. Where's the nearest place I can get a bunch of food? I'm gonna have to go back there. Alright, so you need to do a quick pit stop and buy food. Do you plan on buying more crabs? If so, you're just gonna set them as defense? Probably not gonna be buying more crabs. They're just becoming way, like... They're becoming way too laborious for just keeping them fed. Like, I'm hoping that this group can catch up and get them fed, and I won't have to deal with it being more of a hassle than it already is. Alright, so I need you to upgrade the well again. It's not even the cost, it's literally just running to town, buying up their entire food supply, and then having to go to the next town and then repeat the process. And then just doing that more and more is becoming a pain.
Thank you, Moonwitch, for subscribing for 20 months.
Thank you, Moonwitch, for the tier 1 sub. You've been subbed to the channel for 20 months. Fast approaching 2 years, so I really do appreciate that continued support. It does mean a whole heck of a lot, so thank you again so much for that support. I really do and hope you're enjoying your advertisement-free viewing as well as your access to the emotes. So thank you again for that. Alright, so we're having the group run back down, because this is the only place I know of where I could actually buy any... Like, there's an inn here. These other crab villages that we've got running around, they don't... Like, I could buy fish, which is certainly something worth doing. But, as far as, like, actually useful food and all that. Glad to still be around? I'm glad you're still around. Okay, so 20 more corn for the corn one to work. Oh, that one's already fully upgraded. Yep. Okay, that's fine. You're queued to do that one, right? Yep. Alright. Get knocked down by the Shek a lot, and they just take all my food? Yes, they do. That's the early game. Like, early game, you learn to only buy as much food as you need, because you're going to be donating it to whoever gets to help you train your toughness skill. And by that I mean, whoever's going to beat the crap out of you again and again. Alright, come on. Yeah, so you've got tons of penalties due to your equipment. And hunger and all that. That's going to take a little while to get sorted out. So you finished advanced medicine research. Alright, so just trying to get them down where we can stock up some food. That way we're not dealing with malnourishment as we walk around. There's the barley, there's that. You're completely full of agave. So wheat straw we could definitely upgrade. So I can upgrade you, and wheat straw is maxed out. And hopefully they get some of this stuff building fast, because that's the big issue I have right now, is I need to, be able to rename them? Not yet, I have to go to a plastic surgeon, which means probably heading to Tech Hunter territory. Why are you separate from the whole group? Why is this the way you are, game? Don't separate. Yeah, so town is just over this ridge, I believe. Alright, so we can start having the loom make fabric. Yeah, so Draconic is going to take a little bit to get any level of skill with that weapon. But that's okay. Alright. Yeah, so Agnew is really terrible at laboring. They're working at it. Yeah, so far they're all staying fed. I'm a little worried about it, but that's okay. Any news going on to take the time to build up the tech? Oh, yeah, no, we've been building up the home force. We've got Sadnail, Agnew, and Eonek over here. They're all skeletons. But we are working on building that up. And then we've got all of the crabs working as, like, the defensive force. But, as I said before, I think we're going to be done recruiting new crabs just because they're so aggressive in the amount of food they eat. It is proving to be just kind of an annoyance to keep them fed, which I knew was going to be a thing. But, it is getting to that point. I was going, alright, like, I'm actually tired of dealing with the negatives as the crab, which is like, you go to take them into a building, and they're like, no, door too small. Can't go. Like, I can't even take them into this village down here. They can't fit through the front gate, so I have to carry them in. So that's just Kenshi being jank kind of problems. So we're keeping them. I'm not going to just get rid of the crabs, but I'm going to put them as my defensive force so that when we have raiders show up, we can just demolish them. But then we're going to start building up our attack force to be, you know, again, thematically crab raiders. Yeah, get, like, the realism side of it or whatever, but it's one of those things like, you know what? You just need to fudge the numbers. Just wink, wink, nudge, nudge, let it fit anyways. Alright, so we want someone who's got backpack space to start carrying food. Because if it's in the backpack, they'll actually grab it out of the backpack and all that. Oh, you actually have green fruit. I'm not gonna worry about running that back home, though. And the reason I basically am buying up, like, pretty much all of their food is I'm planning on, like, running around and doing a lot of fighting and all that. And if we grab a ridiculous amount of food, it means it's just one less thing I have to worry about. And everyone immediately shoveled food into their mouth. All right. Yeah, our target's going to be over towards the crags. That's my immediate plan. Go to the crags, start fighting stuff along the way, get better at fighting, keep doing it. You know, eventually get what we need. If we get some opportunities to increase our numbers back at the home base, we'll do it. We're going to try and stick to skeletons. That way, all of the food resources we produce do ultimately end up going towards the crab army. Okay, so we're going to add more onto the queue, which is food. Manual silo? Did I not research automatic ones? That's fine. We can go here and say industry. Maybe it's crafting. Auto loom. That's an exterior building. Thank you, game. Because I think by default, a lot of these are like interior. That's the agave auto loom. We can go ahead and do that. Go storage. Fabrics. So they could start producing cloth for bandages and all that. We can make that happen. All right. So we've got a mist creature. They're fairly dangerous in just like the fact that you can see it's actually fighting a Skeleton Legion scout and just working them. Gonna rally everyone here, and whoever wins the fight, we're gonna go after them. Alright. Because we need to be training a bunch of people to be better in a fight. Okay. Everyone else get in there. Generally speaking, they're almost entirely offense, very little defense. Immediate friendly fire on Draconic from the resident crossbow person. Hey, would you look at that? Draconic actually connected with a solid hit there. All right. No one else cried today over Matt Pat? I mean, I didn't cry, but like, you know, it's a bummer. But at the same time, the guy's been doing it for well over 10 years. I kind of look at, like, the content he made kind of the same way I looked at, like, Mythbusters. It was just you know, a thing that inspired so many people into, you know, approaching things with like science and analytics and all that. Yeah. It's like, you get, you know, you're sorry to like see like that change, but at the same time, like, man, you've been doing this for like 10 plus years. I also don't at all blame you for like, even if it's just wanting to do something else. Actually, it's been more than 10 years. It's been like 15 or whatever. You're a big crybaby. It was a lot of emotional hits. Yeah, no, it's still those things that you're like watching. You're just like, oh man. It's like gonna miss it kind of thing. It's been 13 years? Yeah. Alright, so we are finally training our Did you just try to headbutt him? Oh, your arm's broken. I see, I see. Yeah, so mist creatures are, you know, pretty chunk. That's okay. That's what we're doing here. We're training up against this, you know, tough enemies. And everyone's training stuff. Oh, I forgot. Crab armor gives you complete and total acid rain protection. Alright. Give you a chance to have our last person get up. Yeah, so that was our first engagement. We already got 4 more defense and draconic. They got a little bit of strength. Their attack is gonna be lagging behind everything for a while. Because things are just gonna hit too hard. But we'll get there. But that's the idea, is we're gonna slowly build them up, get them going on. Alright, so you need 20 cotton to be able to upgrade that, and you don't have it. Poor Agnew is trying their absolute best to keep this stuff moving. Which, for the record, Sadneil will help them out as soon as Sadneil isn't busy researching. And how are you doing on your food supply? Really not good. That'll be one of those things I'll have to send like Sadneil with the crabs just to do that. I said they all need to build attack. Yep. It'll take a little while, but it's going to be necessary because I'm not going to be able to take down the bigger targets with the crabs just because the whole nature of not being able to go into half the buildings and all that. And this is also work in a big way because this is just straight up strength training for Draconic. So very quickly our movement speed's gonna pick up to where they're not walking everywhere. So you finished building the armor storage back at base. That is an interesting choice of priority. Okay, so Sad Neil's officially helping out now. So you got 26 on the cactus. So they're the one using heavy weapons? Yeah, no, Dracodic is using heavy weapons. So they're gaining strength both by running around with way too much armor on, so they can't... Like, they're overburdened just by the armor they're wearing. But then they're also gaining strength because they're using a heavy weapons. But that's the reason why they're attacking at, like, no attack speed whatsoever at all. Why are you running ahead? Alright. It's maybe not immediately tangle with Legion thralls if we can help it. Part of the reason I want to target the skeleton bandits is because the skeleton bandits are relatively... They're not a weak enemy, but they're not a strong enemy. They're kind of nice and in the middle. It'll be like 20s and 30s, maybe the tougher ones 40s until we get to the leader, which will probably be like 90s. Versus a lot of stuff tucked away down here is like 50s and 70s. Would you not just directly follow them through this area? Second half stream, probably farm sim. I mentioned towards the earlier part of stream that I'm a bit low energy today, just sleep schedule's all messed up. So I kind of don't want to get into something like too involved, too sweaty kind of thing. Like, one, I don't think I'd be able to, like, focus enough to produce good content doing that, and then also I'd probably just find it frustrating. Because I'd make, you know, I'd make simple mistakes that would cost me progress and runs and whatever, and it's just like, eh. Whereas, like, Kenshi, if, like I said, if I make a mistake, I just reload. That's just Kenshi. Yeah, so you're working on the iron. You two are working on the building material. Yeah, I do suspect what's ultimately going to have to happen. Why do I feel like my money keeps going down? I mean, actually, I know exactly why, because we went a giant spending spree on food. But yeah, so what's going to probably have to happen is Sad Neil's going to probably have to run across the map with the crabs to restock their fish supply so they don't starve to death. Alright. Good old Tower of Spiders. Awful place. Okay. And I believe that outpost might be ultimately where our target is. I don't think we're going to be able to just, like, hammer away at it and win that fight. Black Dragon Ninjas. There's a chance they attack us. Crab Raiders over there. Alright. We'll be switching in not too long. Normally I switch around 11. I'm just going a little bit over. So we got a destroyed outpost down there. Not going to worry about that too much. And how are you doing in your strength train there, buddy? Up to 12? Good job. One of the big things that why we want to take the time to craft armor as opposed to just buying it is the way Kenshi works is, generally speaking, if you're wearing heavy armor, the higher the quality of the armor, the more it reduces the penalties that armor gives you so far as attack speed and everything. Whereas light armor kind of works in the reverse, where, you know, poor quality light armor provides you no defense, but the higher the quality of the light armor, the more defense it gets you. And you'll have entire, like, groups of people argue about, like, what is the best strategy and how to approach it and all that. Okay. So, let's go pick a fight with some skeleton bandits. Oh man, you're 40s and 50s too? Alright, well I still think we fight it. Upgraded skeleton bandits. I understand. This is like, not their normal patrol, this is like their elite squad. That's still fine. It just scooch right over here. So they should win against us. That they just have way higher stats than us across the board. And there's more of them. I do think we have an armor advantage, but it's not going to do us any good because we're going to just be too slow. But that's the whole thing. We're here to train, which means get beaten the crap out of a little bit. The important thing is that no one dies in the fight. Oh, there's a sniper bot just chilling over there. Alright, how are you doing? You're already up to 10 defense. 6 toughness, 10 defense. And keep in mind this character started as a 1-1 character. So, they're getting there. Very slowly. And we have effectively trained, so as soon as someone's able to get up, start patching everyone up, and we get back to it. Draco's def was going up every hit. Yep. That's the thing. If you fight something that you are like at a very large discrepancy between the two combatants, like one is like very high level versus your very low level, you level much faster. It also works in the other way too, where if you go and you take like a very powerful character and you roll in and fight a bunch of really weak characters, then you just, you know, you just don't gain meaningful progress either. So we got more armor storage built up. Alright, they've come back for a round 2. Fine, I will manually tell you to attack things. Because we're just running into the problem where, because they were moving, they're delayed. Alright, so they're going to knock us down pretty handily. None of that's a surprise. We haven't had a chance to recover from any of our injuries at all. That was the reason I was like, oh, I should have brought the sleeping bags. So I could just put down a group of sleeping bags nearby hostile territory, beat them up a bit, go lay down, recover. You know, repeat the process. It's fine. Hey man, you make yourself look really good at that whole crab armor thing. Make sure no one's in any danger. They probably shouldn't be, because usually once you bandaged up, your chances of dying are pretty low. Is that bigger packs? Is there bigger packs in the game? Oh, jeez, yes. You run into groups where it's like seriously like 100 units moving around, 50, 60, 70, 100 units. You're just like, I just don't want to even mess with this. That's actually one of the things that makes like enemies like Fogmen dangerous. They roll around in like 40, 50 units. So even though Fogmen are very weak enemies, they just roll around in giant packs. Or actually, if you remember when I was fighting the cannibals on the other playthrough, the cannibals tend to roll around in a group of, 20, 30, 40 people. And if you go, that's not enough, I want more, you can actually go to your options here. And I believe it's here. You could say squad size multiplier, and you can make it bigger or smaller. It will get to the point that you'll start having problems running the game, you turned it up so much. So interestingly enough, we've got a group of Skeleton Legion just chilling here. And I think it's like glitching out this group that they keep rolling after me again and again. All right. We're kind of just taking turns fighting them. Getting downed, getting back up. It's fine. I don't... Oh, you're, like, hiding in a tree. Yeah, I thought these units were, like, not as bad as, like, 50-50, because that's the issue, is we're dealing with, like, 40-50... Sorry. Like, it's a 40-50 unit kind of thing. You know, which that's about where Rual is at, as, like, our toughest fighter. So, they do outclass us. But that's okay. Because we're leveling. You're surprised Rual can't knock them? No, that's just the whole thing. As far as stats go, that guy actually has... It's pretty close to an even fight between Rual and them. Like, Rual has some stats that he's ahead and some stats that he's behind. Like, Rual has a bit higher defense than he has, but he has a bit more toughness than Rual has. But these fights that last a very long time, these are really good for training stats. Because every time you block, you're getting a little bit more defense. Every time you can take a hit and keep going, you get a bit more toughness. I mean, if you get hit and you don't keep going, you also get toughness. Every time you get up, like as soon as you're able after a fight, you tend to also gain toughness. Hey, we knocked one unconscious in that fight. Those Legion scouts are just busted right now. me start patching everyone back up. And keep it moving. Let's just go ahead and check this body real fast. Okay, we don't have anything we really want off them. Alright, so how are you doing? You'll get up soon. You'll get up soon. Please don't aggro the Legion. Oh, they are aggroed. Well, that sucks. Yeah, it's just this group of Legion that's just chilling here. Okay, it finally moved down. The good news is it doesn't matter, we're just patching ourselves up. That's the beauty about enemies that don't finish the job when they're done. So like, stuff like the cannibals and certain animals, they will eat you after the fight. There's like the skin bandits, well, they take your skin, you know, which you're using, and that's not really healthy for you. That kind of thing. Oh, another wave. Ah, yes, just training ourselves up again. There's something I've needed to do and I've been putting off, and it's been an issue because the crabs have been basically carrying us. But like the crabs have we're kind of hitting a ceiling where their size is becoming more of a burden than a benefit and all that. And we were just stuck. And as much as we were fighting, my combat characters were getting very little actual ability to fight. Because they mostly just couldn't get around the crabs to actually get involved. The other good news is because we're wearing all this plate armor, when they do get hits through, they're only getting like 1 or 2 damage through. So we're honestly recovering most of like we're staying like right around the knockout range. So we're gaining toughness pretty fast. Rual's attack is almost 40. Yep. And Rual's like the extreme outlier, though. Everyone else is kind of like... I mean, Delithia's getting there. But you get the idea. Leviathan army when? That's definitely, like, very heavy in the mod territory. Like, that's the big issue, is they keep rolling back up on us, but it's fine. We heavily stocked on medication. We heavily stocked on food. How are the crabs doing? You still got food? You still holding up? Not a lot of food, but you do have some food left. That's going to be a problem soon. We have barley straw. Still not that much. $25. Okay, so we're all working on it. You're still working on that. You don't quite have the new well built. Alright, we'll probably need to back off a little bit off that tower. Because I'm down to keep fighting. But we're getting, like, literally no breaks to recover at all. Oh, right, you had, like, literally no toughness, so you recovery coma on nothing. That's fine. All right. And Draconic is getting back up, ready to fight more. And just immediately getting absolutely wrecked. Because they don't have any combat abilities yet, but they're already up to 10 toughness, 13 defense. They're training fast. Yep. Hey, Captain Sandy. That's typical. All right. So it shouldn't be too long before the last couple ones stand up. You are gonna be good to get up. And your recovery coma. Okay, so we're gonna have happen. Gonna pick you up. We're just gonna try and inch ourselves a little bit away. I still want to fight in the area. I just don't want to fight right on top of their tower where we're just getting patrolled on endlessly. Because it'd be good if I could put down like some sleeping bags over here, and just as they get knocked down, plunk them in the bed. And get that sorted. Yeah, see, we just moved, we would have been patrolled on again. Alright, with that said, it is getting to be about the time that we do our switch during the stream. For those who are new to the channel, I do stream for 9 hours a night, and then usually what I'll do is about halfway through stream is I will switch games. So if you're like, what do you mean you're switching games? I want just Kenshi. I just want Kenshi forever. Life is Kenshi. You know, I have my entire cast of Kenshi tattooed across the entirety of my back and my arms. Not really. But you know, you feel that way. Don't worry, the game will be back. But it is a thing that I do stream for 9 hours a day, so I do switch roughly around halfway through stream. I actually went a little bit longer today because I'm like, yeah, let's make it closer to actually halfway versus normally it's like 4 and 5 hours or whatever. Split just because timing. But I want to go ahead and get that going. So what's going to end up happening here is for those over on TikTok and YouTube, the stream will end for you because there's no switching categories in those platforms. That works in a meaningful way. Whereas for all of us over here on Twitch, what'll end up happening is I'm going to take like a quick 2-minute restroom break, do all that sort of stuff, and then we're going to get some farm sim up where I've been doing the Survivor Man Challenge kind of thing. Unless you like more Kenshi, but farm sim is nice to have at least once a week. Yeah, no, that's the whole thing. Well, that's the whole thing, is I generally won't do like a full 9 hours of just Kenshi or RimWorld or whatever. Like, sometimes that happens if I'm just like really in the mood for it. But it's a deliberate decision I have to like switch games partway through. For all those on YouTube, TikTok, and all that, don't forget to like and subscribe and follow and do all the things on all the things. And meanwhile, what's gonna happen here is, like I said, we did just save. I'm gonna, like, paranoid